I've been treading water for some time, picking up the parts of all my life. Didn't get to solve it this time. How am I to break apart? Don't tell me why we can't collide. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Don't you feel it? Don't you feel it? On the break of dawn, I'll follow you to carry on. On the break of I feel the gravity pull and it keeps me awake. I would rather be here, lonely in space. I've made up my mind, I just wanna be free. I live my own life in a new galaxy. I wanna be weightless in the silence of the night sky. I wanna free fall into nothing at all. I'm taking the moment, starting all over. I wanna be free and live my own life in a new galaxy. Taking the moment, starting all over. I wanna be free and live my own life in a new galaxy.
Welcome to the Galaxy.
He is able to get out. Now, this is a tight corridor for Xerath to wreak havoc, but that's only if Diego does not get the resets. And Tristana is a mile away. Can they get out of here? Samurai looking like a little bit in trouble. Horn is trying to get some disengaged, but the Lissandra ult, Samurai barely dies. And I don't think there's any... Pizza Pasta Mafia, I mean, I think they're just going to trade pretty heavily. I don't think this goes anywhere. Ornn thinks it does, though. Gets on the Horn, actually might end up in a kill, but the kill for Pizza Pasta Mafia is just obscene. What was that? Actually ult in onto Wukong, the ult from Ash while there's no Brahmi. Here comes the Brahmi. MF ult also kind of worked to block. Seraphine ult just goes a little bit wide, but it might not matter. You don't have these big ults, sure, but there's no Fizz, so your Xerath can do so much work right now. I like that Chukles saw his jungle go the other way and says, I'm tanky enough, I can engage this without my jungler, I don't care. Runs in, there's no one that can kill him right now because Sunnyman had to run the other way. They don't get the Dragon Steel. But Chukles is just stalling the fight until Vi can get here, and MF was on the other side of the map. Vi does get engaged onto Braum, it doesn't matter who engages, it's fine. Seraphine ult also finds Braum. They will be getting
tonight, everyone's fight. Climb up in the height, shine on in the light. Game's on fire now, tension in the air.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to LXC Season 2 Winter Split for Arbiter. We're in week 3, and we've got 2 undefeated teams right now. After this, there will be only potentially 1 undefeated team. I believe the other undefeated team is also playing, but they're playing a 1-on-1 team, so there might be 2, technically. But after this, there will be not 3. I can tell you that much. Because right now, we've got TD ChronoBreak versus TD Harmony, both 1-0 teams with a bye for the last 2 weeks, and today I'll be casting as Scarlet, and I'm here with Soulkeeper. Yeah, it's going great. I love seeing you pull double duty on production and casting. It makes it very interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. They're both the same organization and they're both the same score. There's just so much things going on. So again, let me look at the schedule for the other 1-0 team. Right now, if you look at the standings, we've got 3 undefeated teams. Sorry, ChronoBreak is 2-0. These two are 1-0. Again, week 1 and week 2, these two teams had the bye because there's 5 teams. And today, ChronoBreak, do they have the bye? That'd be really funny. For week 3, no. Oh, sorry, yeah, but not ChronoBreak, sorry. We have a 2-0 team and a 1-0 team. Yeah, sorry. It's Contingent Esports Purple that's 1-0. So ChronoBreak's the only one here that's actually won 2 weeks. They've got a buy upcoming eventually, so that's kind of cool. For Mhm. Yes, and currently we'll see what happens with them because they're playing against Tactical Freeze, who currently is 0-2. So assuming that goes how was expected, then there will be one team undefeated from here, and Contingent Esports Purple will also be defeated. But maybe there's an upset. We'll have to keep you updated on that side too. But this one really is to find out who is going to stand up there with Contingent Esports Purple as undefeated, potentially. Now, no, you're fine. Also, I'm just looking. It looks like ChronoBreak gets a buy in the last week, so uh, before tiebreakers and playoffs, they get an extra week of buy. But they're doing pretty well. I know you said Contingent Esports Purple is looking like the top contender, but I'm kind of curious. Hmm. When did they play? It looks like week 4, so that'll be next week and on stream. So come back next week for sure for that one because that's gonna be a big one. But maybe, I mean, probably right. Like they will have been undefeated. They don't have to worry about anything except for Contingent Esports because that will be 3 of their 4 weeks, right? That they're actually playing. Even if they lose to Contingent Purple, they're still second in seeding, like no matter what. I'm pretty sure. Going into playoffs. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Chrono Break, if they win tonight, have basically secured very good spot for themselves. Right. So with 5 teams, I assume that there's a bye. Actually, can look at it right now for the play. Oh no, the playoff schedule isn't here yet, but not too hard to figure out with 5 teams doubling them. And so, either way, we're still in. It's kind of weird because we're talking about playoffs. This happened in all of the major leagues too, because they're doing 3 splits a year. Um, so 5 teams, and we're in week 3, and your season's almost halfway over until the postseason. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so draft has started. And a reminder, Mel is going to be legal this week. The leagues have all decided to take their own stance on what happens, and in Arbiter, we have said it's disabled. Is that correct? But next week she will be available. No, yeah, next week she'll be available no matter what they want. I mean, I guess they could ban it, but. Either way, a Mumu Wukong ban. Yeah. A Mumu, Wukong, Caitlyn bans. Two jungle bans already. Wukong makes sense on red side because I feel like every draft I've seen a blue side, Wukong picked first. But there's still some nice junglers left. The Caitlyn ban feels a little bit more targeted because I haven't seen that as much. But Victor, Braum. You know, with the Braum ban, I wonder if we're going to see a blue 1 MF, just a classic. But we're not.
Immediate
Because
MF
Harmony
ban.
says maybe we could, and we're not going to.
So you could still see the Orin's good with the Braum down, and the Seraphine, which has been started to picking up some steam, especially in Arbiter. She's kind of a lane bully early on. Immediate
And there
Seraphine.
she is, you called it. You see the Seraphine. What other answers are there to Seraphine once Braum's gone, you know? I feel like MF has a few more answers, but Seraphine doesn't quite
Seraphine's
have
kind of the
that chemical
best,
built up.
but it depends where you run her. Support Seraphine, okay. There's not a whole lot you can really do about it. If it's a mid, you have a lot of counter options and even ADC. But you can always pair it, bottom poke lane. They eliminated the Caitlyn, so maybe they're looking for that Seraphine, Ezreal, that type of poke lane down the bottom.
Well, I can tell you one thing you can do to Seraphine. You can trap her in the Death Realm. It's not likely to happen in team fights, but we do see Mordekaiser for TD Harmony. And then the Jinx, which I feel is like a scary pick if they're actually going to commit into the Seraphine. She does do okay if she can get out of that laning phase, pretty unscathed, but with the right combo, Seraphine could punish Jinx pretty heavily.
I do not like that matchup if that is a Seraphine ADC. That is very painful for Jinx to play. It's hard to get the CS. You're always low in mana because you're having to rock it so much. So they hinge a lot on this, but I do think it would be funny if the Mordekaiser is alting the Seraphine. I think that even the Seraphine's happy if she's drawing that Mordekaiser ult.
Oh, so we got Mbessa, apparently. I think it's got an issue with draft law. Oh, it's frozen. I see. Woohoo! Draft law is frozen. Well, they have locked in Mbessa, apparently. Obviously, there's different rules for if draft law goes down, but I'm pretty sure the teams are happy with Mbessa here. And then after that, we're going to have to figure out how to draft our game, because looks like it's a little bit not working right now.
Yep, this sometimes happens in draft
okay,
law.
so I
Did we
refreshed
come
and I
back?
see on my screen again. I don't know if they're really locking in what they've locked in on screen. Because that doesn't... Mbessa does show up for me, but there's another champion. I don't know if that's real, though. I think they're talking about remaking it, so I'm not even going to talk about the pick. Oh, it's on screen for stream, too. I don't think that Blitzcrank is real.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, we are remaking.
That'd be so
Let
funny.
Let me get.
Yeah, we're not going to hold them
the
to
new
Blitzcrank
links.
whenever they're clearly having issues. We might hold them to the Mbessa.
That would be the Mbessa stays.
You have to play Blitzcrank because draft law said so. Sorry. Blitzcrank Seraphine would be such a bad lane.
That would.
I guess it wouldn't be that bad, but
That would be hysterical.
for
and
sure.
Painful to watch.
Yeah. Now, what is the backup if draft law goes down? Because I know we had some before.
We still have pro draft as an option.
I see,
So
I
if that
see.
goes, we have
Just
one
do
more
in-game
we can go
draft.
to. Yeah, in-game draft's a thing. A little painful, but we can watch that live. That I'm totally set up for.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, surely draft law will work, so we don't have to worry about it. Either way, the teams are getting back set up, but to remind everyone what we had Seraphine and Mbessa for ChronoBreak so far, and I'm blanking a little bit. We had Jinx and Mordekaiser for Harmony, and I think draft law is having issues.
All right. Well, let me get them
Where
set
do you
up
go
with
from
pro
here?
draft.
Yeah, where do we go from here for these team comps, though? You've got Seraphine. You're against Jinx. I do think... teams are banning again.
Right, they're good.
One team is, at least.
Okay.
Both teams are. Okay, it looks like it's working. Wow, I could tell you exactly what these bans are going to be before. But
Totally ruins my
yeah, so
Seraphine prediction now.
you really do have a lot to a lot of time to think about it, though. You know, sometimes you're like last second, oh, what should we pair the Seraphine with? Now you've had 3 minutes to figure out what you're pairing with it. So
Well,
into the Jinx.
you get a pretty good idea. It's probably not going to go mid. That Mbessa is either going to be mid or top. I
I think Blitzcrank would go really hard here. I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Anyways,
It-
we'll see if I don't know if they're thinking after having 3 minutes or if it broke again, and I'm hoping that they're just thinking.
You'd think
But
they
it
would
would be
already know
interesting
what
to
this pick would be.
right, because you've thought about it for Jhin. Okay,
Right.
so Seraphine
Seraphine
likely
support.
which means that with the Mbessa, I don't know that you could send that mid, because what top lane are you going to pick into Mordekaiser that does enough magic damage? Or you're really going to make your jungle do magic damage?
Yeah, it really does show the cards that Mbessa has to be top now. I agree.
So, yeah, the strength of that flex is a little bit weaker. Although you could still just pick like a jungle AP and make them ban mid laners here
Yeah,
and laugh them all the way to the bank and pick a jungle AP jungle and not have a problem.
so I don't
Looks like
think.
you're banning junglers though.
Yep, I don't think the Mbessas ended up being a flex, but since the Mord was there, they just went ahead and decided to show it. No, I think it
Now it's
could
interesting
be
to ban
flexed.
Zyra because that's
Uh,
usually a jungle pick, but if you picked an AP jungle and an AP top laner, it feels like Harmony might have a bit of an issue on damage composition. Plus the Zyra, I don't know.
Zyra's a
I haven't
big
liked it
problem
that
for
much,
their
but it's
comp.
been yeah, it has been picking up steam, and it would work well with what they've got other than damage comp issues, which you can fix with just an AD mid.
Yeah,
The Juani ban makes a lot of sense as well.
I still prefer the Zyra support, but I'm a little old-fashioned with that. I know she's really
Yeah,
strong in
you're
the
gonna put
jungle
Nautilus
right now.
jungle then? That's really old-fashioned.
Not jungle.
Zyra
I actually
support.
I like the Nautilus mid. I know it's crazy, but I like the Nautilus mid. I think
I can see it.
it's very strong. I've seen it in more than one competitive match. I've been on a team that played it, and it won lane pretty much every time.
Okay, so we've got a Jarvan here, which I do like into the Jhin. I do, but it does feel like Ambessa kind of just gets to run around with it if she gets ahead. I don't know how that lane goes into Mordekaiser,
I
but
don't think that Mord's gonna be very happy in that lane versus an Mbessa. I'm pretty sure he loses that matchup. And I don't see them really any way to lock Mbessa down, although she can't go over walls, so maybe the J4 ult helps with that.
yeah. Now
Skarner,
Skarner
good
is
option.
here. Yeah, whenever you've got so much CC in your bot lane already, just adding on a tank with CC that like really centers everything in that circle. Ambessa does not mind charging, into a big circle of people instead of trying to find 180 carry.
But Razors is more known for the Yone and the AD
Mhm.
picks mid lane. So this is going to have to see something. Asol? Well, there's
and then
AP.
Asol. But this is blind, and I'm not sure you can pick Asol blind with Nautilus and Jarvan showing. That's such an ego pick.
That is
Can Harmony
confidence.
punish it? I don't know if they want to choose Fizz. This is obviously like if you get a Fizz player, great. But Fizz is definitely one of those champions you probably haven't like rusted out of your pool in quite a while. And I'm not sure you want to play in this kind of situation, but they do for King Vivi. Wow, the Aurelion Soul pick is kind of out of left field. Yes, if Skarner can get 3 people in his ultimate, Asol will just destroy whatever's in that. They've got enough CC for the front to back composition, right? If they can get a nice little 5v5 conclave, you walk into Skarner and Asol, everything's going to be great. Razors will blow on you until you're dead. But I don't think Jarvan and Fizz are just going to go straight from the front into your face. I think they might choose an angle.
I think Fizz has to choose an angle. There's no way Fizz walks in. He's got to jump on
Exactly.
Jhin in the back line, or Fizz is just going to die.
Right, and
mean-
the problem is, I'm not sure Skarner can deal with the Fizz and Jarvan jumping in from different angles onto his Asol. We'll see, though, because this is definitely a matchup where you have to consistently win the lane as Fizz, or else you are going to lose your team the game. Because Asol, if he's fed enough, it doesn't matter that you jump on top of him. And the rest of your team kind of wants to front to back, right? The Jinx and Nautilus are not going to be helping with damage on Asol. I don't know, it just feels like an interesting composition where we've got damage dealers and divers kind of on both teams. And we're just gonna
This
see
is tough. If
some
it
kind of
was
clash.
me, I would probably instantly lane swap throw that Fizz top into Mbessa and put them moored against Asol. Like, I don't like the lane matchups here, and I think you're putting a lot of pressure on this Mordekaiser. All right, you're either taking out the Mbessa on that Mord ult, which he loses that fight. Mbessa's going to dive the back line. Or he takes out the Asol, he's got a good chance to kill Asol in that Death Realm.
It's interesting for sure.
Yeah, I think that's going to be some real split decisions. And what are you peeling Jinx with? The Nautilus to get Mbessa off?
Basically, yeah. I don't think Jarvan has the luxury to say, I'm peeling Jinx unless Jinx is super fed, because you cannot peel an Asol going front to back off your Jinx. Asol wins that unless he's super behind.
Yeah, I think ChronoBreak wins draft here, even with the Asol ego pick. I think this is going to be very hard for Harmony to take this game.
Let's see. I think if Fizz can play at the expected level, which I'm not sure that they can, not that because I don't know if anyone in Arbiter's really leveled up their Fizz that much. I think that could be an issue for ChronoBreak, where yeah, technically on the books, if they answer the Fizz the way you're supposed to, they win. But I'm not sure their winning top lane is going to be enough to overcome the hurdles of their team fight.
Yeah, Fizz
though.
Generally does really well when he can just E a wave, leave, and then look to the gank, that bot lane, make those roam plays. But it's against an Asol whose wave clear is just as strong and is a better roamer than Fizz. He has such mobility. That impact.
The other thing we have to look at is this Jarvan. Because once Jarvan gets past like 2 or 3 camps, suddenly, or 3 or 7 camps, I should say, he does a lot more early than the Skarner does, and that can be a factor that shuts down the Asol even if Fizz can't by himself, or the Mbessa even in a good matchup. So Mbessa can struggle if it's suddenly a 2v1.
So that's a good point, and to add more onto this this is Jarvan from Korea. So there is going to be that ping delay out
Wait,
of
we
Toxin.
got a Korean import in Arbiter?
Yes, Toxin is playing from Korea.
Wait, playing from Korea? Like with the ping and everything?
Yes.
Oh dear.
Yes, he does. I've seen him play Lee Sin from it, and it was kind of bonkers how well he did. And the ongoing joke was he was already like buffering the Q. He did his combo 2 seconds ago for it to land, type of thing.
I don't think whenever they're talking about Jace from Korea or Lee Sin from Korea, they're talking about literally playing on NA server from Korea. But maybe it still holds true.
Nope, this is now Korean Jarvan.
Okay, well we'll have to see if Jarvan, happens to be fighting a team fight from 2 seconds ago. But, Jarvan, not that big a deal if you're lagging. You basically know what you're going to do before you do it by quite a wide margin. Obviously, we're not expecting to see any EQ flashes, I presume. But, Jarvan worked well long before people started picking that up into their repertoire. There's a long time where no one EQ flashed. Yeah, Flash R, no problem. That's not hard to buffer.
He's got that lined up from 2 seconds before it happened.
Right, exactly. You know what you're gonna do. I mean, it's not like Asol's going anywhere. Like, he's Wing. You literally can, draw a path, where is he gonna be in 2 seconds? Flash R. That easy.
Smite
Either way,
fights are
we're gonna have to see how Jarvan from Korea does versus Asol from, 30 ping or less. After this quick break.
Was it all in vain? My world revolved around you, now it's trapped inside the pain. Maybe I should stay in the dark after you had it to a place too far away. All those crazy thoughts are going through my mind. A part of me I can't escape. Our love was so sublime. It doesn't make no sense if you're not here again. If the only
All right, welcome to the Rift on an in-league house. I don't know how to say it. In-organization battle of TD ChronoBreak versus TD Harmony. Right now, players are playing respectfully with a kind of 5-point. Well, I said respectfully. If you look on the minimap, that Fizz is on the wrong side of the Rift. Kind of laughing at him.
King Vivi just feeling it a little bit. Yeah. Where's that Asol? We're playing Find the Dragon.
I mean, he's right there. And Nautilus is on the other side of the map, so I don't think he's getting cooked or anything.
Asol no longer gives himself away in bushes.
Oh, but he just get a little stack. That's a free stack and Mana Flow Bond. How many Cosmic Stars does he have? He has 2 Stardust. Let's get that counter starting now.
Just
Full Q charge is
Toxin.
pretty big. Wait, another one? I don't know if that went off completely. No, it did not. He didn't even get a Mana Flow band on it from the timing. You might look for one here. Gets the ward off at least, which is pretty helpful because I'll know where Jarvan is pretty quickly.
Yeah, good start there from Razors. Nice aggression. Gotta let Fizz know. He's gotta bully Fizz out before Fizz gets 3. That's when this lane gets a little more rough. Some cheese here in the bot lane.
Oh, the hook goes through the casters and the melees. Hoodie Man is going to get chunked. So will Atomic, but you'd rather the chunk be on your support than AD carry. Now, Helium Bamboo will get some sustain in a little bit, but with Jinx, even though you've got that range support, Jinx versus Jhin. Oh, another hook again before they even think about level 2. Hoodie Man is half health.
Yeah, great hooks coming out from Atomic here for that early aggression. Great.
Right, and now they're level 2 and it gets even worse. Flash to make you flash.
Oh,
not even throwing out the Q.
Doesn't quite off the reset timer. Q wasn't there. Didn't have the melee range to land the auto-empowered stun.
Or maybe it's just a mind game. You know, I'm flashing away from a Nautilus to flashing on me. What does he know that I don't? Now, Toxin, not only being from Korea, he's also on a ward. So everyone knows where he is. But Mordekaiser at the same time guesses that Skarner is on the bot side or wants to know for sure and gets a deep ward in. So they should know where Bardo is before too long. And here's the matchup you were talking about. Having to try to knock her away before Mbessa can get completely in on him, but it's not going to get any easier. Speaking of bad matchups, this one is starting to turn in the favor of Fizz. Now he does have to tank an entire Q while he's walking away.
Yeah, that hyper aggression
which would be a common trade pattern.
As soon as he hits level 3, King VV all in. So that's going to be something we see as a normal trade pattern now.
Absolutely. Now, Skarner is on a ward right now. He shouldn't know it as well. Although I guess they know complex warded somewhere. I expect that the junglers are not really going to look for a gank top lane, but Jarvan could look bot lane. Hoodie Man has no flash. Yeah. Is already chunked out. And Jarvan Nautilus has quite the... Oh, that's under tower though, but it doesn't matter because Fizz doesn't care about tower.
Yeah, troll pull
and
is
Riz is for like half health. 100%. So now Fizz is still at a CS deficit, which is what you expect to see from melee versus range. It's just how long does that last before the melee champion... Toxin on a ward, by the way.
Yeah, Toxin here, they immediately react to it, so Toxin's not going to waste any more time. Yeah. Always debatable when you're in that bot lane, when you see the enemy jungler, if you make that immediate reaction, it gives it away, or do you try and waste the jungler's time a little bit? Just depends on your situation.
I think against Jarvan Nautilus, I am not messing around. You know what? I am backing away from my own turret if I have to. So respectfully, they walk away, and that means Jarvan's going to go back towards this top side, which is warded because Bardo did not spend that time looking for a gank. He spent that time to ward the opposing jungle.
So Grub's coming up in
Helium. Helium is rooted, has flash, uses the exhaust on Jinx. Jinx is actually kind of cooked here a little bit. Hoodie Man came back with the reset, an extra longsword. Now Atomic has the chance to bring some CC. Hoodie can't flash in because no flash. Atomic walking away. I think he's going to go down though, and that's first blood. Off of a good reset by Hoodie Man. If the enemy jungler is going to make me walk away from my own wave, I'll just use it to walk all the way back to base, get an item, and come back and try to destroy the enemy AD carry. And it works.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a miscommunication on that side. You always have a thing of, do we focus the support or do we focus the ADC? Helium Bamboo was the only one in lane at the time. Once that Jhin shows up though, all that damage really needs to immediately transfer. And it ends up costing Atomic his life.
And a lot of CS. That is many minions dying under the tower. So you can see that Jin also only has 6. Oh, Toxin coming in, gets a kill on Helium. The dragon's still alive. Anyone could smite it at this time. Aso's gonna come in and breathe it to death. Hoodie Man low goes down. Bardo trying to escape, but he's escaping into a fish. You can't escape from that. And that's going to be the warfare completed. Now this top side, it looks like Mordekaiser has ulted and Bessa now ults Mordekaiser just to get away. So that matchup's not looking as bad as it used to. And meanwhile, on the other side of the map, TD Harmony has completely turned up.
Yeah, they clean up 3 kills there, plus they pick up the dragon, so that first feats there for kills goes over to TD Harmony off that nice cleanup,
yeah.
And they're going to pick up Grubs as a decent consolation prize, too.
Yes. Now, oh wait, Razors has to get W'd away and will get knocked up by the fish. King Vivi not wanting to go completely deep with that Ignite up. But Acel has to take kind of an awkward back here.
Yeah, and you can see the CS really get skewed here from all of this. Fizz is going to be able to catch up. Jarvan's already up. Mord's still holding his lead, as well as Kitticus has doing pretty well in his lane as well. Even getting over that early kill.
The only thing really going for ChronoBreak right now is the fact that Razors for Life literally flew in and got the dragon. Other than that, right now, they would not be holding on to much because they've got a 1k duel deficit, 3 lanes that are not in great position. I think Jin is maybe in the best out of all of them. And a jungler that will scale better than Jarvan, but is not quite there yet. Yeah, even this top lane, I don't know, with armor boots completed already, feels like Mordekaiser can kind of freely scale for a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good call to go the armor boots. It gets a little scarier late game with all of the CC. You don't quite have the mitigation and the damage Acel can put out. So Complex is locking himself into dealing with Mbessa on any type of split push or team fights for that Mord ult. So we're seeing that call pretty early.
But Razors has to be a little careful here. Fizzle will be up in about 10 seconds. And Razors will not have flash for a while.
Fizz does have 2 kills, but I don't think he's been able to spend it as of yet. No, he's sitting on 1,800 gold. So Fizz really wants
a lot
the
less
back.
scary then. Yeah, not a scary fish if you're sitting on that much gold. Top lane looks fun as always. Acel looking for a roam because he knows Fizz can't really punish whenever he wants to reset so damn bad. But I'm not sure it's really going to come out and work for them because Nautilus seem content to just stay under their tower.
And Basalt is up, and I think Complex is a bit in danger if he stays in this lane.
Alright, it only takes 1 ultimate to get on top of someone and kill them with Mbessa. As opposed to 2 ultimates. I don't know where I was going with that, but... you know, having an ultimate is really good. For top lane, you know? Pretty nice ability.
Mbessa has so many dashes, they all look like an ultimate.
Yeah, exactly.
Just when you think you're about to kill her, she gets half a hit point shield, and, you know, just gets all of her health back anyways. It's a good
now,
champion.
It's interesting, these 2 laners here on your screen, Nautilus and Jinx, have been under tower for so long, and now the pressure's diffused. Skarner and Acel have both recalled at the same time. And Toxin is actually here. So it is now time for Kitticus to put out the pressure.
Alright, Fizz did get that back in, has spent that money. Lost chapter, plus the Hex.
Yeah, I believe that's Ludens, which makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, Storm Surge would be the splashy one, but Fizz does use a lot of mana for Izzy, and
but that
you can
burst
still
damage,
get quite a few pokes out for
that
sure.
That burst damage now is a lot more lethal looking at Razors. Even has the level advantage now.
Okay, goes under tower, is going to eat the tower shot. Still has ultimate available. Razors does not have flash yet, and probably won't for another few waves. Seraphine's moving to roam up, because if they catch him eating out a tower shot with Seraphine available, which is going to happen now, I think Seraphine's just a little far away though, and Razors is half health, so he just dodges the root, dodges the stun, doesn't dodge the stun actually, gets breathed on. Now Razor's turn to run away with the W, exhaust comes out, but I don't think he cares about the exhaust, will get the kill. Toxin is here to protect him in case he needed it, I just don't think he does. Because King Vivi is sitting on top of the world right now.
Yeah, the Seraphine's not 6 yet, so they're not able to layer that CC, and at the end of the day, Seraphine's just there to land a Q.
And it looks like Complex also bailed out of his own situation, getting a recall off. and coming back with a huge CS lead. Got some nice components plus boots versus Mbessa's 80 components. Like, literally, all of her components give 80. And Toxin is going to use this to go for second grubs. Which, I mean, I can't imagine he doesn't get. Right, Seraphine's not roaming up anytime soon. Bardo's down here content to go in for the dragon. And oh wait, Asol's teleporting in just to make a play, potentially? I'm just not sure they want to catch this. Because you're not catching Fizz. Nautilus is too deep in. I wonder if they're overcommitting. Right now, they've spent like 45 seconds doing it in a way that means they absolutely will not lose this dragon. But during all that time, Jarvan wasn't even contesting. He was like, I'll just take grubs.
Yeah, it looks like they've stalled this out to where ChronoBreak's bracking off the dragon. They get the grubs for free. Toxin's going to find some vision. No camps for him to steal. And now they can make a play for this dragon. If ChronoBreak's going to play this scared, that's really concerning this early.
Yeah, it's so awkward. Oh, wait, King Vivi going under tower again, Eing out again. But there's a Jarvan in the bush this time, not a Seraphine. Razors has flash. I'm just not sure if it's enough if King Vivi can land the ult first. I'm kind of waiting to see if he presses R, because I don't want to talk about a long comment otherwise. I think Razors is fine. Because R comes out, ult preemptively flash out, and King Vivi doesn't care. He just flash QZs. It doesn't matter. You're dead. And this is why blind picking Asol is such an ego pick. It did not even take the intervention of Jarvan for this lane to become a huge nuisance.
Yeah, this mid lane is impactfully over. Fizz fully controls this lane there for King Vivi. Although, 2 here should have the E up.
Oh, Imbecile also misses. King Vivi just jumps out of everything. Everything's missing except for Nautilus ult. That can't miss. EQ also hits. Seraphine ult will charm people. But they don't have the damage to really kill them. And Bessa's finally coming in. Might get the support. Rocket comes in though. Atomic is still alive. Everyone's trying to flash out. Complex cannot find an ult target. And it looks like everyone will walk away from it. Just a lot of ults and flashes used.
Yeah, good 2-man ult from Helium Bamboo there on the Seraphine. Helps kind of unmess up that engage. And kind of went everywhere.
Oh my
Razor's
goodness, this is why it's such an ego pick. I'm just gonna keep saying it as Razors keeps on dying. I think he's dead to Ignite.
He's dead to Ignite. He goes the opposite direction. Seraphine that could have shielded him, and I think he would have lived.
Perhaps, if it was off cooldown, for sure. Okay, I think we already learned for next upcoming drafts. Do not blind pick Asol. Take that off the list.
Yeah, blinding Asol's a little tough there. But Seraphine got some of a wave and left.
Oh, Godfist is in the chamber right now, has no ultimate of his own to be able to fight this. Now, he might still win this because he can just dash out of every skill shot that comes his way. But he can't do it out of that one, and that's all Complex needs to get that kill.
Yeah, and that matchup now has also turned heavily in Mordecai's favor.
Level disadvantage! Look at this level. Razors is level 8, King Vivi is level 11 with a completed item, another component. Razors has nothing. Not even boots too.
And Feats of Strength went over during that second grub kill to TD Harmony.
Yeah, so they've got everything. There is not a lane right now where ChronoBreak has an ounce of ability to impact it positively. All of their towers are in danger of falling. The only thing they've got going for them is Asol scaling, and Asol is not scaling right now. He's the same level as the 80 carries.
Yeah, this game just got a lot harder.
You can't ult aggressively like that because he will destroy the tower. He could get out if he wants to, but he doesn't even want to because he can kill you after killing the tower. Looks like he's a little bit worried about anyone else being available. But who cares? King Vivi got the tower. He got your ultimate.
Complex just waiting in the wings now.
Nice spot. Yeah. There's a Bardo also waiting in the wings. There, you could see a Nautilus trying to hook in here. This is how you build your advantages, or build your disadvantage into an advantage back, you know. Nautilus says, I've got 7 kills on my team, we're super head, I'm gonna go for any hook ever, and suddenly there's a Skarner, but now there's a Fizz who eats out of Mbessa ult, and now Mbessa's just cooked. Nowhere to go but dashing everywhere. Here comes the engage bot side though. Seraphine did get a nice ult. The problem is Skarner left, he went back to base, and Jarvan's on the way. Jarvan with 300 ping, mind you, but it's still Jarvan nonetheless. Jinx ult! There it goes. Toxin gets that kill. Jinx gets excited. The teleport in just brings a level 9 Ace ult. That's not going to stop anyone. So they'll laugh at him as they walk away and get the bot tower.
Yeah, Harmony just stepping on the gas here. We see a 7k gold advantage, 8 up in kills, and every lane has just been disastrous.
If they get the second tower, it will be incredibly hard to stop this Jinx from popping off. She's the only one that hasn't gotten an insane amount of kills. She's got 1 assist. But now she got a 3-way split on the inner tower. She's almost completed her call. She's up 30 CS on Jhin. Even though Kidakis has not popped off this game per se, he's still been to the benefit of his team's success.
Yeah, it doesn't really need to with that lead that Fizz has. I mean, no one can deal with Fizz right now, not even Ambessa. Fizz...
I don't even know where Aesol goes. He's scared to live.
He's just scared right now. And ChronoBreak's going to have to find a way to stall this game out at least another 20 minutes. Let's see the Aesol
Now the good thing
stacks
is,
here.
they
Only
got that
at
first dragon.
91.
That stalls quite a bit. The bad news is Outacon is going to spawn in 4 minutes, and I don't know that they can fight it.
No, but I have seen a lot of teams throw around the Otacon.
True.
Depending which one goes, it cranks all the resist, and then it ends up turning into an ace for the other side, and the lead just evaporates. There is a lot of shutdown money sitting over there on Harmony right now.
Right. Now, it's not like Aesol's the only late game scaling champion in the game, though. We've still got this Jinx who, you know, again, probably wouldn't want to take a scaled Aesol head on, but will certainly do well in the late game even if we get there. So it's not like just hold on and survive and win for TD ChronoBreak. They've got a long way to go, but right now they're getting hooked under tower. The Skarner is stopping the dive a little bit. Seraphine ult as well. And that is going to be a lot of shutdowns because Jinx and Jarvan goes down. The Jhin ult should slow down Atomic as well. Fizz is not here. This is not where you want to be making your plays whenever your Fizz is the one with 6 of your 10 kills. It looks like they should catch this because the flash forward from Aesol, breathe on him. Skarner eating under the wall, but he can't turn around. It doesn't matter though because there's just no damage coming out of a support Nautilus. Resist takes half assault though, by the way, for 1 shot.
Well, if you had to get 2 kills on a dragon real quick, that's a way to do it. The aggressive tower play, it followed into the dives that get locked up under the tower from the assault, and yeah, you definitely can't do that again.
TD Harmony really wanted to follow in King VV's footsteps. If he can dive anyone, I can dive anyone. It just doesn't quite work that way. Maybe whenever Nautilus and Jinx and Jarvan get a fishbowl. I mean, I guess Jarvan kind of has one, but it doesn't work the same way.
Yeah, the only good thing that comes out of that for Harmony is Fizz didn't die. Fizz went top lane rather than being involved in the death ball. So that 500 gold shutdown is still safe.
Right, and they are going to get the dragon here. There's no cross-map objective to get except for this pink ward and some camps. However, you are still buying time. Mid inner tower will go down. That's not as much gold as the other inner towers that went down earlier, but you can see that it doesn't really matter. There's still an 8k gold lead right now, just off of the towers and kills alone.
There is, but Aesol picked up 30 stacks from that team fight to now.
Yeah, but Toxin in the middle is something here that I'm not sure he wants to finish. Luckily, there's not much chase here for ChronoBreak.
Yeah.
So they will secure their own red buff.
Fizz isn't around. That gets really scary without your Fizz nearby.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of where all your gold is sitting.
Absolutely. Jinx is not going to do anything until at least that Infinity Edge is set up. Mordekaiser could probably kill 1 person, but after that, who knows? You really do want to make every play, you know, ask where King Vivi wants to go. Make him the literal monarch of your team. Sire, where are we going? Where are we making the next play? And I do like where he is right now, pushing in the top lane, getting that pressure for, you know, make sure the enemy team reacts appropriately to Otacon spawning.
Yeah, Otacon's just about to come up here in the next 5 seconds. You got 5 minutes on Baron.
It is voracious, which makes sense. It's the GA one. That could be a lot of gold if there is a throw. But ChronoBreak, look at this. They just have to respect the Otacon. Normally, you would never see 3 members of the losing team just hanging out by the Baron pit, right? No one's doing a 20-minute Baron unless the game's insanely, absurdly behind. But right now they have to ward that Articon and make sure they have many members around there. Because if that gets started, they have to respond appropriately or the game's just over.
Yeah, and I think if I'm ChronoBreak, I want Harmony to start it, and I want to come in when it's at about a quarter health. You know, just enough to make it really questionable to pull off.
Now, Complex might have found someone, but who are we kidding? That's Mbessa. She just dashes. She'll be fine. It does look like they are committing a lot of members here. Notice that King Vivi's on the other side of the map, though.
No
I think
TP.
this is kind of interesting.
He cannot join this fight if this happens.
Right, it might be more of a 4-1 split rather than an Otacon start. If you answer the Fizz, then we'll Otacon. Otherwise, we're just going to have 2 lanes pushing into you.
And they are going to send Mbessa down to answer Fizz.
I mean, a lot of people are kind of being drawn in by the gravity of Fizz right now. Jin's about to walk over a ward. If he does, I think they commit. But he walks away before walking in the ward. It doesn't matter. They're still willing to commit.
They're starting.
Mbessa does have TP. This objective takes quite a while. It's on a ward. It also, as you said, shreds MR and armor pretty hard. But it's taking them so long to get here. The objective is about half health. Godfist might also have problems of his own. He can't teleport in if he's low on health. Splash in! Those Seraphine... Oh, but the Mordekaiser gets it without smite. You are going to get some withdrawals here. I just don't think you can win the fight in a way that matters. Acel is getting a lot of stacks. That still happens even under the GA. Looks like only Skarner will be the victim of a real death. And ChronoBreak kind of get a victory even if they lose the objective.
Yeah, they get the withdrawals down. It actually goes over to Complex on the Mordekaiser to secure it. So
right, VV still a problem down here, and now he has a GA. He might just use it to get this tower. He does not care.
This is really scary.
He's also Fizz. Okay, yeah, but look at this. I mean, they get
he's got the withdrawal.
Congratulations. Yeah. Now, that does mean Otacon buff will not be used for any major objective. It was used for the bot tower and to get it in it of itself.
Correct, and I believe Atomic still has his.
Right, but, I mean,
you can
whether
throw your support
or
away.
withdraws or dies is really irrelevant, almost.
Hey, support lives matter.
Okay, they matter, but, like, not for Otacon objective denying. Like, what is Nautilus going to do? Walk in, like, at 3 miles per hour? Guys, I'm back. I respawned early. I don't think it effectively is no Otacon buff at all.
Alright, we're at 161 stacks on the Acel here. At 23 minutes.
Right, but he's also just level 11. He's less of a level than both of the AD carries on the map and both of the junglers. This is not where you want to see your Acel being. Now, Acel doesn't mind being lower level if he's got that stack level. I mean, level 9 is really nice for the infinite duration of Q. But King VP could just walk down here. He's not going to die to anyone. Seraphine does get a slow, but Seraphine might get a fish as well. Not even needing the E damage, but commits it anyways, which might be relevant because there's no way to dodge any abilities. Flashes out, but there's the second E Jin ult. You have to dodge every single one of these. Doesn't even dodge the first one. And that's a lot of gold to Hoodie Man for basically just giving up the dragon.
Yeah, that is pretty much 1,000 gold now over into Hoodie's pocket. Onto a key target there for that Jin.
You really have to question if King VV was just ego playing at that point, you know. Do you really need to pressure the bot inhib? If you get the kill, it's kind of nice, but getting a Seraphine kill is not worth your life.
No, not to hand over that amount of gold. You do lose a bounty objective on the top side with the tower going down. You pick up the dragon to put you at 3, but you're really going to now need that mountain soul because you just gave a lot of gold over to Jin, and that completes his IE.
Well, Jin with Collector IE into 2 mountain dragons is not Jin with Collector IE into not 2 mountain dragons, I'll tell you that much.
There is a bit of difference. It's very subtle.
At the same time, it's not very hard for King VP to decide that he needs to stop diving Razors and start diving Hoodie Man. So, you know, 1,000 gold over him is good. It's a start, but they've still got a long ways to go.
Yeah, there's not a lot of peel for Hoodie back there, so he's gonna have to play this really close.
Either that or they just say kill Hoodie or kill Razors. You can't kill them both. The other one will wipe your team. I just don't know how realistic that is with Razors being only level 12 and Hoodie being a Jin.
They really want this bot lane inhib.
I do like how they're doing it now. They're sending both solo lanes to it. while the rest of the other team is looking at Baron, and that objective will go down. Bot inhib being down makes it so much easier to pick up Baron.
Yeah, so they're gonna get all the pressure they want there on that bot.
Okay, King VV, chill out. Okay, you're not diving that tower right now. You're just showing off. But regardless, right? Whenever you commit two of your laners like that, where one of them doesn't have teleport, the fear is always that the enemy team could engage, but they're not gonna. Oh, that's kind of rude to Complex, I guess. They'll be fine though.
Yeah.
You know, that fear
stacks.
isn't really real against the enemy team with you having a Jarvan, so I think it makes a lot of sense to commit to the bot lane there.
And this is really scary for ChronoBreak here.
They have to face check into a Mordekaiser, Jarvan, Jinx, and then there's a Fizz on the side, but Fizz is not here yet! Skarner ult finds so many of them! Toxin has to flash out, Complex has to find someone to ult, Fizz got exhausted, he's still gonna kill someone through it though! And he still has half his health, you have to imagine Fizz could go in at any time! Razors runs for his life, Hoodie Man is not so lucky! And while Toxin does go down, that is 4 members of ChronoBreak going down for the price. And it looks like Harmony wants to go for base damage. I don't think they can end here, but with the bot inhib down and with the pressure that they have, there's going to be a lot of minions to clear for quite a while for ChronoBreak. Oh, Razors did not run far enough. Oh, King Phoebe's just laughing at him. That is so rude. And at the same time, they get the mid tower and inhib, knowing that they can get the Baron basically at any time while that bottom inhib is down.
Yeah, it is going to add more pressure. If you're ChronoBreak, you like how that fight kind of went. You just don't like what the end result of that fight was.
Right.
Like, Fizz ult missed. It didn't go on anyone. Oh, he didn't land it. The
Oh, Razors?
Seraphine ult went across 4, and you still lost the fight.
You even got the exhaust on the Fizz, and it just didn't matter. Exhaust did not stop his damage from killing people.
Do you think Mbessa dived backline and just ended up dying to Kitticus?
Oh, speaking of dying, King VV diving into Razors, you've seen this before. That's another kill Hoodie Man could just watch. He is going to shoot at King VV right now. Zanya goes out. The E will also come out before the trap can proc. Bardo's here. Complex has the ability to protect him, though. King VV doesn't even care about Gen ult. He's going to dive in anyways. Bardo gets a nice Skarner ult, though, that separates Atomic. Atomic should go down here. So it looks like they're fighting back. It looks like it's a 1-for-1 at the end of the day, but Razors for Life is not going to be farming stacks while he's dead.
Yeah, King VV kind of trolls his team a little bit there. Went for a kill. I don't think they really needed to take that fight. And just ends up costing poor supports their lives to cover mid lane plays.
Atomic's life doesn't matter. They're still going to go Baron with or without him, but the teleport is out. And it looks like they want to contest. I'm not sure if Razors knows this is happening and is teleported to fight it, or if he just wanted lane position. He's walking away now, so I think they know it's a possibility. Skarner's gonna come face check, but it's entirely too late, because the Baron's gone! And they could just run away. King VV isn't even in the area. They still want to fight. King VV is not here. Bardo does not have ult, though. It doesn't matter. Seraphine ult finds Toxin. Toxin ults in onto a bunch of people. And they don't need King VV anymore. They've evolved past the need of the Fizz. Because they're so ahead. Jinx gets a triple. And, you know, here's King VV anyways. Misses the ult. I don't think it's going to stop them from ending the game, though. Because it is literally just Mbessa against the entire enemy team.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of words for that fight.
March.
It was...
Here comes Mbessa as a last-second attempt. Maybe he can get one. Can't even get that as they get the Nexus towers. And that is why King VV says, you better respect my mid lane a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're going to be banning the ASOL pick. Yeah,
Not
I think
if
they
they're
have
on
an
red
answer.
side. Not if they're on red side, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the King VV
Razors
show is
gotta
real.
Razors has got to show a different, or got to reach into his pool for a different pick if they're on blue side, need to blind pick mid lane. But they have side select now, they could switch to red side, they can switch it up. There are many options here, but you know, at the end of the day, looking at your other lanes, yes, this story is mostly about how King VV had the counter pick and knew how to play it. But the other lanes, you know, are still places you can improve on if you're TD ChronoBreak, because I'm not sure that the Jhin Seraphine lane did what you needed to. I'm not sure that the Mbessa and Mordekaiser matchup went how you wanted it either.
Chrono is selecting red.
Makes sense. That will definitely change the bans and possibly change the bot lane matchup because their blind pick was the Seraphine. I think they were intending to blind pick the Misfortune, but on red side, all of that completely flips.
Yeah, so boy, it makes things a lot more interesting because you're not scared of the Ambessa. Um, so, boy, do you even have to change any of your bans if you're Harmony here?
I imagine if you're willing to blind pick the Wukong or Misfortune, you are allowed to change one of them. But yeah, you really don't have to. There's nothing you're really like, oh man, we should definitely ban that. I guess you could argue for an ASOL ban on round 2, just because Harmony may save for a 10th pick, and you're not blind picking Fizz. So you might see that from Harmony as a change on blue side. But yeah, their bans are probably going to stay very similar.
Yeah, should be fairly interesting. I'm very interested to see how Razors kind of collects himself after that match. Because those can always be really tough games, especially mentally.
I think it is tough. Whenever you go into a league and your entire identity is that you can blind pick these hyper carries and do what you want. You know, I've seen him blind pick Yon, I've seen him blind pick Asol, and they become the new bans. Whenever that isn't true of one champion, it can be kind of hard to say, maybe I can blind pick Yon. And you also put your team under a lot of pressure because now they're going to be the ones facing the bans.
So you think they save Razor counterpick?
For yourself. I think so. Whenever you've built your team around someone like Razors, whenever Razors plays these characters that do very well if they're not shut down by a counter, it makes a lot of sense to save counter for that, especially whenever you saw that having the top lane counter pick did not go the way that ChronoBreak wanted it to. I mean, they might save it for AD carry, but I don't think that's the kind of meta we're in either, even if it was, 5 different players.
Yeah, I don't think bot lane went bad for either side. I think mid and top just scaled out, completely out of control. King Baby just took over mid. We expected him to win that lane. The lane that did not go expected was definitely the top, the Ambessa into that Mordekaiser. So that was
just kind of the nature. It's the nature of Mbessa. She lives on a dime. It falls one way or the other. Even in lanes where she's supposed to win, you have to play that lane so aggressive that sometimes you just kind of fall flat. And there's no lane where you just go even.
That's fair. This is good itemization by Complex. I have to give a shout out. I questioned the boots. Going immediately boots to rushed it, and it ended up being the right call.
Yeah, so it looks like players are in position. We've got draft links. It should start momentarily. Draft law won't crash this time, surely. So we should get into it pretty quickly. Again, I expect Harmony to have very similar looking bans, but for ChronoBreak, I don't know. There are some options to change here.
Yeah, if you had a draft plan, maybe that was the our for fun draft. You came in as widely the favored team.
Mm-hmm.
Going in, you were feeling very confident about it. You've pretty much stomped your opponents. And, I would say you probably had another plan coming about. Or at least I hope they had a plan B. Draft starts?
So I may have cursed it, because the draft has started, but players have said they're not ready, so we might you have a small delay. I imagine they could do bans okay. We will see very quickly if this is going through. Okay, so Wukong ban on blue side this time. Well, it says to me that Harmony's not willing to blind pick it. Harmony's not willing to blind pick it. Bans so far are very similar, but I imagine the Braum ban may change if ChronoBreak assumes that they're not going to get the Misfortune.
Yeah, I think you wait to see if the other ban's MF.
That is the nature of having red side. Oh no, they ban MF immediately, which I respect banning MF on red side, but I wonder if you're supposed to hold it one ban to see if you can bait out a Braum ban. Either way, respectable. Harmony's probably going to pick MF on this patch if it's available. But instead of the Braum ban, we see a brand ban. And what is ChronoBreak going to make their
Brand.
last ban? Right, you don't have to ban the MF anymore. You have to choose something. I don't know what Brand is doing,
I'm
but
more shocked by the
not in this game,
brand
I
ban,
guess.
though. You know,
Right.
so for a lot of I haven't seen a brand in any league.
Well, you're not seeing it today either. Or at least not in this game.
Harmony.
Now, this was a Braum ban, but assumedly they would change it here. Caitlyn also was an option that they banned before. Will be
So
the
they go
Zyra
with the
ban that you saw
Zyra.
that in round 2 from ChronoBreak. Now, what does Harmony blind pick? I imagine support, AD carry, or jungle. Those are the classics.
The Caitlyn. The
Looks like it's going
Caitlyn
to be
was
the
banned
Caitlyn.
round 1 last time.
Alright, but ChronoBreak had to update it to the MF ban upon being red side, and then Zyra ban as well. Whenever they didn't ban Caitlyn and Braum. Now, how do you answer the Caitlyn?
You either go hard engage or you try and play out poke. Those are my two options. I like the AP into her, personally.
Jinx is interesting. You were trying to outscale. You're not outpoking. You could hard engage on it, but I think what you're trying to do with the Jinx most of all is just say, laning phase doesn't matter. I'm going to be monster in team fights, and you're going to, hit people with rubber bullets.
Yeah, Jinx definitely better late game. They go with the Lulu. Okay, so they want the Enchanter.
But this kind of means KD Harmony could do what they want for a lane. They should win that laning phase. So what support do you bring whenever you know that's going to happen?
With that, I probably bring a roaming support here. They're going to go ahead and lock in that Mordekaiser, but I would go roaming support. Your Caitlyn can easily 1v2 that lane. The only time she's dying is with the dive.
Ooh. Or you just say, I want to win lane so hard that it looks like Razors was having a good game last time.
Well, that's a bold choice.
It could be Elise jungle, but we have been seeing a lot of Elise support. And whenever you've already got the Caitlyn, you could try to get to a position where Jinx just can't play the game. Which again, might be what Harmony needs to do. People came in saying ChronoBreak was favored, but if they just lose lanes hard enough, it doesn't matter how much better you are as a team.
And they're blinding the Cassiopeia. I mean, I guess it could be a flex pick for a Cass top, but that seems kind of unlikely.
I do like Razor saying one blind pick wasn't good. Maybe the other one is. I haven't seen Cast Blind in quite a while. Now, it is good on the patch. I believe it's been nerfed twice in a row, so maybe not as much anymore.
Listband comes out, so maybe Harmony's seeing what I'm seeing, that could be a Cassiopeia top that might be flexed between them.
It could make sense of the Mordekaiser. Imbessa was a little bit too much all in. Cassiopeia doesn't have that problem. She just needs to not get Eden, and she'll be a-okay in that top lane.
And that is another huge team fighter. Scales very well with that Jinx.
Right, but they didn't even get to that point in the game last time, so ChronoBreak kind of putting their eggs in the basket of what happened last game will not happen again.
And they banned the Yone, so 2 targeted bans here at Razor in this final phase.
Yeah, Harmony is not buying the flex pick.
Now, they are saying we know that it's Cassiopeia top.
So I imagine ChronoBreak will pick their jungler here. And it looks like Zac, which I really like, because if you want to change how laning phase went, the best way to do that is not only by changing your counter matchups, but also going to a more aggressive jungler who punishes people who dive under tower constantly like King VV last game.
I agree. I really like the Zac pick here. It fits very well. So what is the response now? They have to show whether this is a leash jungle or not. It is a leash support.
That's a Viego pick. Which I do kind of like with the, early aggression that TD Harmony has gone. I've definitely seen a Viego and Arbiter go off. I think it was...
It was Bardo.
Yeah, Bardo on the other side. But, turnabout's fair play. But what do you pick in the mid lane?
Something safe. Ori's banned.
Okay, that's not safe.
That's not. Okay.
I don't even know if that has a good matchup in the Cassiopeia. I like the idea of not buying that as mid lane and going for mid lane bans. I'm not sure that I like the idea of picking something like Nefiri, who does scale well, so maybe that matchup's not as bad as I thought. I certainly haven't seen it that much, but I'm not sure that Nefiri works here, because even as a blind pick, it just feels kind of punishable.
Especially into a Zac jungle, like this could be very, very tough. And it comes out just to be a Corki. Okay, well that didn't go how I expected at all.
Yeah, Razor's picking the Corki potentially. It does mean ChronoBreak assuredly is sending that Cassiopeia top lane. Now, I'm not sure the Corki is what I would pick to counter the Nefiri. It can poke pretty well, obviously, and probably will hold it at bay. But I feel like if your Zac isn't protecting you, Viego could come in and make that nonsense a little bit more hard to deal with.
Yeah, I think this is another losing matchup. Like, you're wanting to play safe with that Corki on the Valkyrie to get out. But Nefiri is another one of those champions. They can dash in. They can dive tower. She has her baby dogs that are gonna absorb tower shots. This is still a problem, and we are gonna see round 2 of VV diving Razors under his tower.
I do think that Razors has more options as Corki, and it has more survivability against Nefiri than Fizz. So I wouldn't say King VV is completely just gonna stomp over again, but TD Harmony has 2 lanes where they could absolutely pop off and make it a non-game, just like Game 1. And if that happens, it doesn't matter that ChronoBreak are favored, because if you don't get to the late game, what does it matter?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a feast or famine of Harmony. This looks like a fun comp. This is a try-hard comp. This looks like something they toss together of, hey, we like these champions. We think this is fun to play. If it wins, it wins. If not, we go to Game 3. And we'll see probably something a little more structured comp out of them. But it's a very aggressive, all-out comp. Just to dive.
I do find it interesting that Razors has almost relied on these blind pick hyper carries so much that, in a corner where he has to counter pick, it almost feels like he blind picked as well. I wonder if that's like something that comes inherently from blind picking the Aesol and the Yone, I've already got 1 speed. Even if they pick something that kind of counters it, if I was willing to blind pick it, I'm willing to counter pick it,
Yeah, and it can be kind of tough. This is a sister team. This org does a lot of in-houses. These players have played against each other, probably hundreds of times. So they're very, very familiar with each other's champion pools and niche picks.
It looks like Cassiopeia has locked in top lane for ChronoBreak, which again was expected. Wait. That can't be right. Okay, yeah, Toxin is locked in Viego. He had Korean ping, so he was hovering Elise for a second. But he switched to Viego just in time, so it will be Viego jungle Elise support. So the matchups are, what we expected.
Support Viego would be entertaining.
I wonder if they did it as a flex pick, and so mentally Toxin was like, okay, I'm playing Elise. And then last second, wait, Viego's really good here. Let's just send it support. Almost forgot.
Either way, that would have been fun to watch.
We're going to be seeing a lot of fireworks in the mid and bot lane. And then top lane, something could happen. I expect it to just go to, scaling. But you never know. Cassiopeia might get caught up in an E somewhere by Complex. And we will see all of that after a quick break.
There's a beauty in the way you're worn, and the sharpness of your thorns. So vibrate in the imperfections, in the pain there's something real. All that anger so concealed, still you're lost in how to feel. Just let me hold There's a beauty in the way you lay, and the way your color fades. You stand out now with your imperfections. Oh, it was never meant to fall apart. It was not supposed to cause us harm. But these days, all I do is wonder, is it better now that we can start again? 'Cause in the pain there's something real. Oh, that anger so concealed. Still you're lost in how to feel. Just let me hold. Oh, that's severed world. The pieces feel so cold. All the tears won't bring it back to life. But hate will always grow.
Okay, welcome back to the Rift. We are live with game 2 of TD Harmony versus TD ChronoBreak. It is a TD face-off. And this time they're not being respectful. We see 5 members of TD ChronoBreak looking for a fight. But I'm not sure where they're looking for it. I guess they expect the enemy team to invade.
Yeah, they're expecting an invade here.
I guess Elise support often wants to do something like that, but Harmony are not doing it. They're just like chilling. Looks like Viego will show up on a ward, but that's not going to be the news that they want because I think Viego gets a free ward here. They ping it out, they see him ward, and then they have to watch him walk away. Wait, actually? Is he going with the late? Oh no, this could be a disaster for Toxin.
Terrible.
No, on 300 ping, what are you doing? He's on a ward right now. They don't even know how to react. Zach has started E, and Toxin gets the bad news, has to flash over the wall, will not even get that off. And that's first blood for Razors, which will definitely help in that lane. Toxin went for the solo play, gets the deep ward, and wants even more, and just gets absolutely obliterated. I don't know how ChronoBreak knew something was going to happen.
This seems like something they saw in in-houses or scrims that Toxin might try and pull that. It's the only thing I can think.
Will be a little bit delayed, because he has to start E, which is a little slower, but I think he'll take it because he got a pseudo gank off for Corki, because at some point Corki can recall, teleport back in with an extra 300 gold, and King Vivi is going for a really deep trade early, but you can see how much that affects his health bar.
Yeah, King Vivi doesn't really win this fight early. He's gonna have to relax a little bit.
Okay, but Razor's kind of has to relax too, because he's gonna take a lot of minion damage on the way out of this trade. But again, Razors just has to buy enough time to get to 3 waves recall and just have 300 extra gold waiting for him. Now the Elite stun into Caitlyn Q means bot lane's going to be about that for quite a while. Once Kitticus gets traps, it's going to be an additional layer of damage. Cocoon is a must-dodge down here.
Yeah, I guess that's going to kind of play out like a Morgana Q. The old Caitlyn
Oh,
Morgana.
Actually, Razor's getting jumped on, getting the dot, and is not willing to trade back because he might just die. So King Vivi getting a slight advantage here in the lane, despite being the melee with Razors having first blood.
Yeah, a little too aggressive. Razor's going to have to burn that early teleport. Electrocute putting in a lot of work here early.
Right, but early teleport is not as bad as it usually is. You can see that he's not going to miss a minion wave, and he gets to have a tier because of that extra 300 gold from first blood.
Yep, and the refillable to kind of keep him healthy.
Usually, whenever you have to recall this early and teleport back in, you only get the refillable, but thanks to that first blood, it's just, you know, almost kind of what you planned, in a way.
Yeah, it does end up working out. And he's able to catch up.
You can kind of see how Hoodie has to play this lane. There's a cannon dying right now, and Hoodie's not even in XP range because of how scared he is of the Elise Caitlyn.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage that comes out with the... If you can't dodge that cocoon, you know, you get a trap under you. The Caitlyn Q comes across.
But there is one thing that can fix it, and that's a Zac gank. But he's spotted out by Elise. I'm not entirely sure. I think there was a vision plant or something. And they knew exactly where Zac is, or maybe the ward right there. Really good ward timing. King Vivi going for an all-in with longsword, which is much nicer than Doran's Blade here. Toxin coming for a gank up here. Godfist does have Ghost. Flash in from Toxin, though. He saved it from the first blood. But there's just no follow-up. Yeah. And Godfist just walks away.
Isolated Q misses there. They're from Complex. I don't think they get a kill even if that lands. Yeah, not even going to have to burn the teleport.
Bardo's doing something very tricky. He did the Gromp first, then Wolves. Okay, but he's going back towards the crab anyways. I thought he was going to kind of psych them out, getting spotted out on the Gromp and then staying here for an extended period of time, but he will just be taking the crab. Now, the second gank is going to work a lot better because Godfist has no mana, no Ghost. There is a Nefiri coming as well. They might even just give this over to the Nefiri. King VV willing to take his prize. Actually, Complex gets it, but that's still an assist over to Nefiri. Meanwhile, bot lane Zac has gotten an amazing flank. They don't know how committed they are until they are committed. The barrier from Hoodie Man means he's not under any real threat. Kitticus trying to get Bardo's passive, but that's not really going to save him. Has to net out. Looks like because of their hard commitment and Hoodie Man having to barrier, they don't even have to flash.
Yeah, they kind of get the better end of that trade. It does burn Kitticus's barrier as well. But as you said, no flashes burned.
So right now it is 1-1. Razors for Life has been gifted a really nice lead into his lane. Nefuri was not able to get a kill for his own lane. Top lane, even though Complex got that kill, I don't think teleporting back with an extra item or two is going to make this lane that much easier.
I don't think so now, especially now that the Fairy Fire has been brought out. So, Cass is gonna start to hurt, and the immediate tier 2 boost
Wait.
by.
Is Hoodie Man trapped right now? It looks like he's going to go for a recall, but at any point Caitlyn could just crash this wave and get a massive advantage. Looks like Caitlyn's going for vision control though. I'm not sure how the minions work out at this point. Right now Caitlyn has a 5 CS lead. It looks like she just spent too much time looking for some kind of vision control. And unfortunately gives up on the basics, which is if your opposing laner leaves in a bad situation, punish them.
Yeah, should have crashed this wave to make Jinx
I respect it, though.
solve this.
I Am Atomic was going topside for Grub's control. And being 1v2 is very scary, so perhaps was worried that Jinx was doing a fake recall. And it just kind of works out for Hoodie Man. Oh, the ultimate on Godfist doesn't matter. He just walks so fast, gets an ult off on his own. There's a tower here, and now there's a Viego here. Looks like that might be enough, but Complex can't take that this long. That's a third shot, he might be dead. And Godfist just gets gifted a kill. He doesn't have mana for this one, so I don't think he gets 2 kills for fun. But unfortunately, Complex and Toxin have not gotten accustomed to the new tower damage.
Yeah, kind of disastrous. That's definitely not where you want to start this lane. Mord was in a good spot, but that kill going over, it's going to be kind of costly. He is going to lose an additional CS, or additional whole wave here. It's gonna
Okay, now let's look at this 1v1 past level 6. King VV, not afraid of tower shots once again, but he might be afraid of the Gatling gun. Rockets come out as well. Razors is trying to win this, has no mana. Meanwhile, the stun comes out on Lulu. No trap follow-up, though. And I Am Atomic is only level 4, so he's taking quite a bit of damage with the minions hitting him as well. So it looks like Hoodie Man and Helium Mabu have stabilized the lane.
Yeah, Jinx not quite 6 yet, but Bardo is here. If they wanted to dive this, should have the passive.
Right, but they just don't feel like they can get the wave in time. Bardo says, I've got camps to clear. You can't keep me here while you kill, like, 7 minions. Topside, Godfist, FTW always looks like he's in a bad spot, but I don't know, it just keeps on working out for him.
Yeah, King VV burns the TP to grab that pressure mid, and Raze is just gonna go ahead and get his TP in as well.
I'm Atomic on a ward. Still looking, though. Gets a lot of damage from Helium. Helium has to be careful, though. The Cocoon actually lands on Jinx, which I was not expecting. Jinx is not level 6 yet. If that happens, Atomic better be ready to RE immediately. Because I believe Hoodie Man should hit level 6 off this wave. Elise is still recalling in that bush. Now, I don't think Hoodie Man just sends it on a rocket there. It'd be very funny if he did, though. But I think he's just going to take the tempo and crash that wave.
Yeah, it should be a full reset. Toxin's down there, be able to clean it up. No, Toxin's gonna back, actually. Rather than grab that wave. Doesn't look like the push
I think
power's there.
Hoodie actually can't crash it right now. Meanwhile, in this top lane, another Mordekaiser ult goes in a very similar way. There's a Corki this time, though, once Complex gets out. Whenever he gets out, I don't think he's going to be happy to find that out. But there is an Fury as well. In the fight, Godfist is just dodging everything. Can't dodge that. King Vivi is here with Corki just chasing with a gun. Dog versus gun. Gun wins every time. Now, Zach is looking to make it even more complicated, but they decide... Oh! It's actually finishing with a rocket! And this dive looks very possible because Nefuri doesn't really have tools whenever she's the one being dove, but the stun comes out on Razors first. If Toxin gets a reset, he will absolutely destroy. He gets CC chain first, though, and Godfist FTW gets gifted another kill in a fight that didn't look like it was going to go his way.
Yeah, Bardo just hangs up
Oh, but he has no
forever.
mana! Flash in from King VV. King VV wants that last game back, gets a lot of gold. Meanwhile, Hoodie Man just walking back to lane, man! And there's an Elise there, bothering him. King VV will go down for that aggression because the jungle and support have been here, because grubs are spawning in 30 seconds. But that means Hoodie Man has to recall.
sorry. Yeah, that's
Poor
just
Hoodie Man,
like
man.
what a crazy, crazy set there. 4, 5 kills go over, just in a mass trade for top
Right,
lane.
but I want to call out this Jinx walking back to lane right now. Hoodie thinks that the Windmills will protect him. He doesn't have a Lulu to protect him right now. Elisa's close to giving up, though. Oh, he gives up right whenever he was going to strike diamonds. Because Jinx is here. That's kind of awkward, but, you know. Hoodie still had to give up so many minions just because Lulu wanted these grubs. And they're not even getting them. One of them has already gone down. Toxin getting CC'd. The exhaust as well. Invisibility will not protect you whenever they're all there. And so it looks like the Lulu roam did give them a kill and 2 of the 3 grubs. But Hoodie Man may have something to say about it if they cannot carry from that point, because he has not had a good time for the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're seeing quite the different game here out of ChronoBreak. 3 kills already over to that Cassiopeia now.
So, Dragon will be spawning in 37 seconds.
Oh,
For
and that
Feats
gave
purposes.
Godfist blue buff.
Yeah, oh, the flash in! Hoodie Man has no tools, only barrier available. I don't think it's going to be enough. Here it comes down. No, not even willing to use it. And that is a free 2v1 dive because Lulu has been stalled for so long for the grubs. And what does it matter if you get grubs if you don't get first tower? Meanwhile, mid-side, King Vivi punishing Razors for life. That lane looks like it's getting harder and harder for Corki, but once he finishes his Triforce, it might be a bit easier.
Yeah, Razor's doing a good job holding that Valkyrie for when Neferi jumps onto him. So he's staying at least close enough to tower for that.
I do like how every fight I've seen, Godfist has run out of mana by the end of it, and now he just has the blue buff. So he'll be fine.
Right? Every time we look top when there's a fight, Godfist is constantly out of mana, so that blue buff will buy him some reprieve.
Now, both junglers are near the bot side for this dragon. I'm not sure if either team can really be the one to engage.
Neferi's
But
still
Neferi
mid here.
has a lot of time. Yeah, she has not moved down to the bot side to match Corki, because Corki is still at his, below his destroyed tower. But I'm not sure that he's going to be able to accomplish anything with this timer either.
You don't
So
really,
Neferi just quietly walks back bot lane, I think.
yeah, you don't really want your 2 carries. They're splitting CS and XP.
Oh, but they might be splitting a fight where... Oh, Godfist going for an ult on Complex. Now that's going to be the signal for Complex to go in. He still has a health disadvantage though, but Mordekaiser doesn't care. With the shield, with the Q, can't quite hit it though. Godfist just has basic abilities, and that's all he might need. The poison still taking on Complex, but the bush is just so valuable. Dodges the Q. Godfist didn't even see that Q come out, and dodges it, getting himself a kill. Meanwhile, that's also going to be on the bot side, red side taking the dragon. Toxin is in here. Now he has Korean ping, he can't smite, fight comes in. Ult from Zac means the Vega won't get the chance to smite. Atomic also having the E out. I don't think he has a place to go that will not lead to his death, so he would go down. And that means that second dragon will go over to ChronoBreak, and I believe that they will have feats upon one more objective. Jumping in on Kid Icarus, by the way. But the trap means Helium can't join yet. So Bard is just kind of bullying Kid Icarus. I just don't know if it's going to go anywhere.
Yeah, Toxin not looking as strong in this Viego as he did on the Jarvan pick. So definitely a rougher game, constantly being found out and picked. And anytime Toxin shows up, it's an immediate Zac engage. He is getting bounced house from the ult, followed by the Lulu ult. And he just goes down again.
Now, this feels like an inversion of the last game, except at least TD Harmony have Kid Icarus, because no other lane is doing okay. I guess King Vivi is not, as horribly behind as Razors was in the last game, but Complex is struggling, and you can see it right here. Look at Godfist just chase him down with the Poison Fangs, grounding him, queuing him. Oh man, he doesn't even have to hit ult to make Complex just hate his laning phase.
Yeah.
So it really is down to the Caitlyn.
I think if he lands that ult there, he does even get that kill just from the extra slow. But I think they want this shutdown gold. As Toxin and Atomic are going to spend a lot of time here.
It would be a surprise if they showed up out of Tribush after being in there for 30 seconds. They are walking towards it. Mordekaiser's also on the way. Godfist has Ghost. Will probably use it pretty soon. Grounded comes out, Ghost comes out, uses the ult to stun them both, not even trying to run away, trying to get some damage on Toxin to make sure he doesn't chase. And he's completely fine. Now Complex does have ultimate. No flash though. But there's a Zac and Lulu coming as well. So you have to imagine that this play has completely failed for TD Harmony.
That was like 2 Qs out of Godflix and it dropped Toxin below half. Doesn't have even the boots too. There's no magic
King
resist.
VV finds Razors though, and this time there's not a nearby tower. He does Valkyrie out. So he'll be okay. The dogs are chasing him a little bit. Meanwhile, a stun finds Zac. Not the target you want. Jinx ult will hit Atomic for fun. Hoodie Man, it looks like, was low as well from a play while Razors for Life was getting jumped on by Nefiri. Which we see again. But I don't think that'll go anywhere.
Yeah.
The next objective right now is Rift Herald. That will be Feats of Strength if TD ChronoBreak can get it. I imagine that they're okay either way, though.
Somehow Harmony has a gold lead, even though they don't have the objectives and they don't have the kills.
Right. It basically is just that Caitlyn with the first tower and with that CS lead. You can see 60 CS lead whenever Jinx only has 80, almost doubling the CS. Viego going to have to run away, and I just don't think they can get the objective because Kitticus does not have the damage to be... Oh wait, maybe with the stun because it's a trap as well. Cassiopeia has so many defensive tools and is able to just walk away. Caitlyn can't even finish it off because of the exhaust. Zac will find that as well, and Godfist FTW just keeps on winning.
Great Lulu all there from Helium. It looks like it will cost him that bot lane tower, but you pick up 2 kills and the Rift for it, you're kind of happy.
Yeah, Rift is going to give you a tower anyways. Toxin going for a buff that I'm not sure that he deserves. Not like in a moral sense, just having to flash away from it feels pretty bad.
And now King VV's gonna have to be pretty careful. If he has to match that Cassiopeia, that is not the matchup you want to be in if you're Neferi.
What do you mean? Whenever you mark them and dash towards them, facing them directly, that could be bad in the Cassiopeia? What could possibly go wrong?
It could be a very interesting experience. Do you believe Neferi gets to go to the pound if that matchup happens like that?
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate that whenever you get this close this many times on Godfist FTW, it gets harder every time, you know? You don't get extra points for getting his health bar to 10 health. Unfortunately, it's still a kill. So, you know, Godfist has been part of a lot of close calls, and yes, 2 deaths, but those 5 kills are a lot more impactful.
It really is, and surprisingly, with as low as Godfist continues to get, has not gotten that Seraph
Okay, King
Celebration.
VV? On Razors again, we've seen this before, but this time Razors has a few extra items. Meanwhile, Atomic, you're a support. You really do not want to be facing Godfist. Rocket comes in, misses, unfortunately. Razors is going to be saved by his team. King VV going for the last-ditch effort. But unfortunately, he is not on Fizz. He cannot just go into 4 people and get a kill.
Now, King VV's hyper-aggression now starting to be punished as they pick it up. Will give over 3rd Drake for that, as Razors is able to escape for his team. Again, we're seeing that Zac ult and Lulu ult combo.
They are cross-mapping, though, getting that mid-tower, potentially going up towards Godfist on the backside of this, although they gotta run. Lulu's got a flank position on them. I know Complex is on your screen right now dying. Actually, he might be dead with that because he ults in the... Oh, I don't know, because the tower's protecting it. It's just not enough! Flash in to die. Meanwhile, it does look like Kitticus and I'm Atomic were able to escape the oncoming people, and they've kind of got their own position on Godfist, who does not have ultimate, is at half health, but still has a tower available. And what are they going to give up mid lane for this play? Because King VV cannot protect these towers. He is a dog. Dogs do not sit and protect towers. This is not how it works, and right now he's getting doped. They will get the shutdown onto Kitticus. Once again, they're one bright spot on the team in terms of ability to deal damage, but they lost their mid tower for it.
Shelly going for a bit of a ride there with Bardo.
Yeah. I think Kitticus is going to be gifted more gold here. Oh no, just taking the tower with minions is totally acceptable. The local gold is not worth the tempo if you could potentially die.
Yeah, it was good to
And
pick up.
Otacon will be spawning up there.
They do get that shutdown there off Godfist. Godfist finally goes down. Still, no Seraph's Embrace yet. Probably should have been the second item there from Godfist. um, just personal preference with as much attention as you've been drawing.
I mean, you don't need a shield if you just kill them all, right?
Right? I mean,
now
3v1 almost killed the Elise, so it's a thing.
Right, and Complex is not able to finish this tower off with the wave. Idacon is up here. Now, obviously ChronoBreak could probably take this at their leisure, but if they wait until Soul has spawned, they kind of put Harmony in an impossible decision with two important objectives on opposite sides of the map. Kitticus will get this kill on tower. Toxin knocked up again. He's not on that tank Jarvan who can just get out. So that'll be another kill while Otacon is available.
We do see the pings
But
to Otacon coming down.
Wait, but you are against the Collector Infinity Edge Caitlyn. If Caitlyn could get any kind of position here against Otacon, with the reduction in armor and magic resist, especially armor that you get from it, maybe they can fight it, but instead they're going for the mid inhib. I don't hate this either. If you can get towers off of it, I mean, there's a reason there haven't been ejected bounties, right? There have been 3 dragons and Rift Herald and Grubs. Not Grubs, sorry. But if you keep the gold even, you can make the game playable. Looks like Otacon will go down, and Razors can kind of just play however he wants right now with this GA available. Atomic.
Yeah. Somehow Harmony
trying
is
to
still
pressure
in
the
the
tower.
gold lead.
Right, it's mostly off these towers, because if you look at the towers, all of the outers are up on side lanes. Atomic might go down here to
Huge Jink
Lulu.
rocket.
Oh, what? That would be a nice 200 gold. You can see Kitticus is the one person who can do a lot of damage here. And that's not going to change anytime soon. He's just been gifted a lot of gold. Obviously, ChronoBreak did get the Otacon, but that only gives gold per kill or assist and a GA. And that's not real stats like Infinity Edge plus Collector that Kitticus has right now. But Kitticus can't use any of that if he's knocked up. Airborne, once again, barrier used. Atomic will die as a casualty. Kitticus has to flash out.
You just see Toxin down bot lane, stole 2 camps jungle, and is now clearing the wave. I guess they've locked in the split push.
Yeah, they've taken cross map to an extreme. You can kill my support. I'm just gonna keep on clearing waves and try to get this gold lead to go as high as it can. But I'm not sure if a gold lead's gonna match up to Hex Exalt. And that's spawning in 1 minute 13.
Yeah, it's an interesting call. I mean, you can't really fight him right now, so I get it because of the withdraws.
Oh, but they might go for it anyways. Complex gets the ultimate on Godfist, and
No
now
mana.
with no blue buff has no mana. So he's just auto-attacking, and auto-attacks do not do much for Cassiopeia. They will get that 200 gold, and this has been right 60 seconds before Dragon spawns, so they do have time to reset and go for that Dragon. Getting rid of Cassiopeia withdrawal is super huge because that would have been up for Soul. If you make Cassiopeia withdraw, she can teleport back in. Teleport has actually been used on this top tower. King Vivi going to jump in. Hasn't killed the tower, though. Kill the tower first. King Vivi has to run away. Flashes out. The poison is still ticking, though. And that will be a death 25 seconds before Soul spawns. It almost worked out for them. If King Vivi can either get that kill or get away and have teleport available, that would have made a 5v4 on the map for this Hex deck. But now it's the opposite way. Meanwhile, Kitticus getting jumped on by Zac again. Dodges a lot of the CC, but there's just still too much coming. Zac ult will find him as well. Kitticus just can't right-click enough. Jinx finds him for a little bit. Oh, the headshot! And Elise damage means that it will be a withdrawal. And they're using their withdrawals right before Soul spawns. Razors jumps in. Will not die to the support. Yes, he will. And that's an actual kill. I believe Otacon has turned off. Elise dies to Zac from Sunfire Cape? Or some kind of lasting damage, but why are we teleporting to topside? We want to stop Cassiopeia and give up the soul, I think. Which is a really hard decision to make. But I guess they assume they've given up the soul. And that means that this gold lead is going to have to do a damn lot of work, because that's a Hex Exalt they're up against.
Yeah, that's going to make this a lot more difficult here on Harmony. Cassiopeia with Hexal is kind of disgusting, not to mention there's still a Jinx in this game. We haven't really talked about it much. It's kind of been the Cassiopeia show.
Yeah, I think Complex is in a lot of trouble here. These outer towers are not as defendable this late in the game with Soul. Toxin also looking for a camp that is not his. Bardo walking away for now, respecting it. Jumps out. But you can't chase that because Jinx will be there.
Yeah, we did
With
see the
that
Jinx
Texel.
ult come out. It's kind of a friendly
The
hello.
one thing that Harmony have going for them, they do have a lot of structures down. If they get some kind of Miracle Baron, if they get some kind of Miracle Team fight, Kiticus will destroy these towers so quickly. They only need one fluke. Catching out one person, one King VV assassination, and they might just win the game off of something that, you know, doesn't feel like they deserve, you know, in a way, like stealing it.
Sure.
But I don't know how likely that is.
Godfist is definitely a problem, and the Corki's 7-1 here for Razors, so there is that double threat.
Right, but look at this Caitlyn damage. That was through
Ooh.
bone plating. And Lulu just took half her health from a Q. Kiticus is probably the strongest person on the Rift right now, even against a Hextech Soul Corki. I mean, maybe that's a bit extreme, but Kiticus does damage.
Yeah, for sure. Been farming very well. 210 CS here at 26 minutes. Is about to be a 3-item Caitlyn.
Right, so
Harmony's
if
still playing
Harmony
very
can
aggressive.
somehow leverage this, if Harmony can somehow leverage this into a Baron, that's such a huge push for them. I just don't know how it happens. Because Sparto will jump on Caitlyn every time. And, yeah, that headshot did not do as much damage as it did to Lulu, unfortunately.
There are targets with armor in this game.
Absolutely.
So we do see that
Now-
Cass did get that bot push in.
Right, you're gonna see a lot of split push, and then probably something forced around Baron. I'm just not sure that Baron can be really started by ChronoBreak. It's a little... I mean, with Cassiopeia, obviously they kill it very quickly. But that would be the one way that they kind of lose this game. Again, if there's a steal that happens without too many deaths, ChronoBreak have a kind of position where they could get an inhibitor. Meanwhile, Flash in, catching on to Godfist. The ultimate is available, will use it. But even after you're out of the God realm, there's 5 members waiting for you! And that will be a kill. They're gonna go straight for Baron. If they get this Baron without losing too many members, they have a real option to do lethal base damage.
Yeah, it's great
Mordekaiser's
pickup.
gonna recall with teleport available soon. Looks like they decided to call it off because they don't want to wait that long. This Baron should not take that long. I believe Kiticus will do damage to it. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of hard because Viego's a little bit behind. He just doesn't have enough health, but he does catch the Bard with a double stun. But he's tanking enough, it doesn't matter. Kiticus does damage to everyone except for him. And that's the only one he can right-click right now. Watch Kiticus on your screen. He's right-clicked Zac about 30 times, and it just doesn't matter. And Jinx will be the one to carry this fight. Which means even in a 4v5 with Hextech Soul, ChronoBreak are able to win the fight and presumably the Baron.
Yeah, there was some false confidence there from Harmony as they kind of stepped up, figuring, all right, we got the snake out. Razor's still a champion. Corky Bomb's still hurt. You saw that huge burst at the start of the fight as they engaged on Bardo there. Zac gave Jinx a free reset off the bat, basically, and just pure cleanup. Nefiri died instantly.
The gold lead has finally shifted hands, but there's still no objective bounties. The game still thinks it's close, which is kind of interesting in a lot of ways.
Well, I mean, the gold lead's only 4K now?
Right, but it's also 4 dragons to 0 and the Baron buff. Like, what more do you need? Also, the levels right now, Toxin and Bardo are the same level, mid is the same level, but bot lane, or top lane right now, level 15 to level 17. That is a tough one to match.
I'm surprised Complex is even stepping up to Cassiopeia right now.
Yeah, he had a good flash engage that last time, but that was because his entire team was ready to collapse. And they're not right now. Right now, all that's collapsing are these minions into his tower. Corky also available if they want to go for that siege. But Godfist has it by himself. Tower will go down fairly soon.
Yeah,
And
Baron
Zac
minions
is jumping
doing
in on
work.
Kiticus. If Kiticus can't do damage, the tower surely can't do damage. That'll be 2 kills. That'll be the tower, and I believe we're going to a game 3 because nothing is going to stop Hoodie Man from right-clicking these structures.
Yep,
Teleport
King
will
Vivi's
come
still
in.
top lane with
Yeah, he's got to teleport. I just don't think it matters because Zac is right on top of him. Has to flash out. That's not what you want to do as an assassin. Elise does get on Hoodie Man, but he's still got barrier. Oh, he will tie to the tower at the last second. Helium also in a little bit of trouble, but not that much trouble. Korku will do a fine job as a replacement AD carry, and ChronoBreak will bring us to a game 3.
Yeah. Great coming back, making it happen here for the game 3, and we kind of see the team flop. Although Harmony's plays though really kept that game close and dangerous. That
Yeah,
like you had said, like if they had gotten that Baron, you'd think this was gonna be a 2-0.
it was definitely possible. It took a lot, but the fact that they had the gold lead the entire time by making those cross map plays, if they had any kind of scaling and if they had been able to contest any one of the dragons, you have to imagine that the game would have been much more in contention at the end there.
So basically 0-0. How do you approach this draft?
You take red side, so Razors has to blind pick, I guess. And then you say Nefiri, we're not gonna play that. Actually, it looked okay there. To be perfectly honest, just I do think making Razor's blind pick is going to be the thing that decides game 1 and game 3.
Yeah, I don't think the Neferi was nearly as impactful um, as we saw the Fizz game 1. Not that it was played poorly. Neferi is just one of those champions. If it doesn't get ahead and start really impacting the game, it just kind of fiddles out and doesn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, Harmony have selected the red side as expected, so Razor's better be reaching in that pool and figuring out what he can play into King VV.
Getting draft link set up here.
I'm also wondering if the bans are going to change, at least in round 2. The Caitlyn ban might come back for ChronoBreak because they're on blue side this time, and Kidika's definitely performed. It was the one lane that basically kept Harmony relevant the entire game.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I imagine the Wukong ban, MF ban probably all stay. I agree. I think the Caitlyn ban has to come back in from ChronoBreak. Don't want to let that back in the game.
I am noticing something. I was wondering if it was just potentially something that that was off for a different reason, but I believe that we are seeing a mid lane change.
Yes, Frost
right
has
now,
returned. It is not King VV. Frost, I think, had a prior engagement and was not able to be here for the first 2 games.
So you're saying blind pick Acel's back on the table? I mean, I don't know if you want to run it back like that, but you know, I do think that we're going to see a very different mid lane pick from TD Harmony because we've seen 2 assassins.
We should, yes.
And I wonder if it gets. And I wonder if Razors is going to have the confidence to blind pick, you know, after the first 2 games.
Well, he had a very good game on Corky, so that is that mental reset. You know, you get blasted 1 game, you come back in, you play really, really well game 2. Yeah, so you're probably riding high after that game. It's a nice redemption whenever, at least for me, I know when I get blown up in a game and then I come back and have a good one, you know, I've already forgotten what happened in that previous game.
Game 1, what is that?
Where I ran it down like a champion.
We're 1-0, aren't we?
Right? You know? Hey,
Either
you get to
way,
1-1 the series. Neither game mattered now.
I wonder how Harmony handles having their main starter back again. Obviously, King VV was doing fine, but you know it always shakes up things behind the scenes whenever you don't have someone you've played with for quite a while. Just the different ways that they play can affect you differently. You expect different things. The draft has to change completely. And it can be kind of hard to shift back into that for game 3.
Very different champion pools. King VV known more for the assassin types. Frost plays a lot more of the traditional control mages, I believe, if I'm not crazy.
Right.
So I don't expect those assassin picks to come out.
Razors might just blind pick Acel.
Well, draft does start and an immediate Caitlyn ban.
Yeah. Looks like bans are going to be very similar to game one, which I respect. We saw why Caitlyn was banned game one in game two, and it's not coming back. Actually, it's the exact same ban so far. I'm wondering if we see a Braum ban of ChronoBreak, expect the MF ban. They ban the Yone themselves away from Frost, but assumedly also from Razors.
Yep, this should
Now, does
force
TD Harmony,
Harmony to ban the
does
MF.
TD, right, or do they keep the MF up and take the Braum if it comes out?
Solid
I don't know,
option.
Harmony's talking about it.
If you have an answer for the lane bully on the MF, I think that's a very valid option. But you've already banned the Wukong,
Nope.
which is a really strong counter to MF.
Yep, MF ban will come out. Chronobreak, blind pick once again. Seraphine would not be the worst. I don't think it did poorly before, and it's a flex. But, maybe you want to play something with more agency, especially after that last game where, Caitlyn and Elise made you have a really bad time for Hoodie. Play something a little bit more able to withstand the pressure, like Varus will be their blind pick.
Yeah, Varus regaining in popularity here this split. We didn't see much of him last time. I think the last time we really saw Varus was the AP builds that we saw coming out of him that people had jumped onto. So it's good to see Varus back in.
I wonder if Jinx is going to be the pick again for Harmony, and we're going to see Jinx go for the 3-0. It looks like Jinx will be picked. And there is a potential for Jinx to have won every game this series.
Jinx, very popular ADC. Always strong, always in meta. The Zyra comes out, which has been permabanned, I think, in 1 and 2.
Right, Zyra was banned in round 2 of bans game 1, and then round 1 bans in game 2. Now it is available and it is picked, which opens up for us to play an AD pick. However, Yone was already banned, so I'm not sure if they're going to go down that route, but it does open up a lot of options. Or, of course, the Zyra support, as someone may have mentioned in game 1. I do like the Zac, though. Kiticus was so far ahead in game 2, and it just didn't matter because Zac jumped on him all the time. Now, Jinx has a little bit more options than Caitlyn when it comes to that, and maybe his team won't be incredibly far behind on all the other lanes, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and Zac was not broke.
Yeah, a little bit of anti-synergy there with the Varus ult, and the Zac ult can kick them far enough away to where it breaks the Varus chains. So we do see the Lulu come back out. So we know they're very good at that combo with the Zac ult, Lulu ult for the double knock-up CC bounce house.
Right, and then you've got Varus on top of it. Maybe it comes out afterwards, because Zac is definitely going to keep them in one specific spot. But Harmony, I mean, with the Jinx, they have more options, I feel like. Especially since we know that Frost is likely to get counterpick here. Mordekaiser will be picked for the 3rd time for Complex. I'm wondering if they're going to ban the Cassiopeia here, because I'm not sure that Complex really wants to run that matchup back.
Yeah, I imagine Caspian has to come out if you're Harmony. I can't see putting Complex, who had an amazing game 1, back into that terrible matchup for game 2.
I mean, they were very close a few times. It looked like they had a chance. Maybe he's saying, run it back. I got it this time. Just don't go for that dive. And so far, it's still on the table because Galio's the first ban for them.
Interesting. Wouldn't expect a Galio ban to come out.
Well, I do think that Frost has to pick an AD person right now, which would be kind of good in the Galio. But if you're going to pick AP mid, you better ban Galio, or else you're going to get cooked by all of this magic damage you have. Cassiopeia will be banned. Corki will also be banned, this time by Razor's team, and that's the 2nd time they banned one of his champions. But I don't think he wants to blind pick into Frost. In fact, he may be looking at a blind pick Asol. It's still on the table, Soulkeeper.
So there may be more shared pool between Frost and Razors than I thought there was. So that's bad on me for not looking further in the Frost champion pool. So that could be why we're seeing so many of ChronoBreak branding.
Well, we're gonna see blind pick mid lane, and they're either keeping the flex pick or blind picking or counter picking their support, which is unheard of almost.
Yeah, that has to be a flex on that Zyra jungle, I would imagine.
And Oriana does not have any partners right now. Like, you definitely don't need Oriana to have a ball carrier, but it's a little odd to completely draft one without one.
Well, she's very
Draft a team without
safe.
one.
She's
For
very hard to
sure.
engage on. She's a pretty good all-around team fighter, especially
Speaking
into
of
the
which,
comp.
speaking of hard to engage on, Tom Kinch into Mordekaiser. It feels a little bit like the Cassiopeia in that you don't care if you get ulted as much, but less, I'm gonna have to run away the entire time. I do like it. What will Razors pick for mid lane though?
More heart steel stacks for the catfish.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fine.
Ari is a classic pick, but I'm really curious what Harmony was saving pick 10 for. Because you've drafted this entire way, and it feels like you just have to pick a support champion, which you almost never would leave for your last pick. And yet that's what they've done.
It is going to be the
Potentially?
brand.
So that's another flex. I couldn't tell you which one of these is going bot lane and which one's going jungle.
I would
On
say
the
this
face
has to
of
be a
it.
jungle brand. Oh, it's the
Ah.
Tarek. They changed last moment.
So again, this is a flex, although Tarek very commonly goes bot lane.
I would bet the house Toxin does not have the gumption to run that Tarek jungle.
Yeah. Now, I find this kind of interesting because for the first time, I feel like Harmony have not drafted winning strong lanes, and they haven't picked up ChronoBreak's trying to win the team fight draft either. So I kind of feel like they're just somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a harder match for Harmony. To try and navigate, you pretty much have to steal that Varus if you're complex on that Mordekaiser. Yeah, if you take the Tom Kench, the Zac, or the Lulu, that makes team fights even more awkward to let any of them through. You have to get out that damage, and that brings into that solo damage source being the Ahri, who's very good at getting on that back lane.
I'm just wondering what they thought about Tarek last pick was going to be important to hide as well. I mean, maybe you don't pick Tom Kench if you see the Tarek. Maybe there was another support that they were considering. I mean, obviously they were considering Brand. But it really feels like it's not that materially different.
I think the Brand's
the Oriana
better here
could be.
because he's a better tank killer. Going into Tom Kench, Zac, I think he'd bring a lot more damage that they're kind of missing.
But what
to
you're
bring that
saying
Brand out of the
is,
jungle.
what you're saying is they waited for support to make sure they had all the information they could get, and then they made the wrong choice.
Yep. You know what? I'm fully in on that boat. Yes, they should have stuck with the Brand. I'll commit to it.
Maybe they thought Razors would blind pick Oriana, and they didn't have an answer. That could be another reason why this Oriana was picked, R4. I'm not sure. It's really going to be one of those things that we just never know. Either way, mid lane looks a little bit less explosive than it has the last two games. Bot lane looks a little more exciting, maybe. And top lane's back to Mordekaiser versus something.
Yeah, I think it's depending which one does go bot lane. I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility, but we're about to find out which one he's going to take here in that jungle. It is going to be the Zyra.
Yeah, Tarek jungle is just not as real as it used to be. I mean, I think there's one or two one tricks still batting away at it. But Zyra's the flavor of the month for jungle right now. Yet I'm not sure that Zyra's the flavor of the month whenever you pick Oriana and Mordekaiser as well. It does feel like Tom Kinch can stack MR for, 20 minutes and not have a problem. And then, later he'll be like, I guess I'll get some armor for Jinx.
But you figure he's going to have enough health at that point. Jinx is going to take a while to cut him down. Especially with that shield.
But there is something to be said for comfort. Obviously, Complex has been very comfortable with the Mordekaiser. Oriana's a great blind pick. Zyra seems like something Toxin wanted to play because it's been banned both games previously. So maybe it's just how it works out and it's going to be good enough.
Yeah, I think the comfort's strong here. Complex again on this Mordekaiser has looked good on it. Overall, even in the Cassiopeia matchup, there was some nice plays by Complex. So we'll have to see how he can handle the Tom Kench. I'm less familiar with that matchup of Tom Kench into Mordekaiser.
Well, I'm sure Complex knows the Mordekaiser part of it because he's been playing it twice in a row. But, you know, obviously it's different into Cassiopeia versus into Tom Kench. Yet, I'm not sure that they're going to go for those dives that they went for on Cassiopeia, and that's really where they went wrong in a way. Either way, we're going to have to see how that matchup goes and the rest of the Rift after the final break of the night.
What's on your mind? Can I read it from your eyes? Can we lay and make the time stand still? What if we stay? Pretend there's nothing else. What if we stay? What's on your mind? Can I read it from your eyes? Can we lay and make the time stand still? What if we stay? Pretend there's nothing else. What's on your mind? Can I read it from your eyes? Can we lay and make the time stand still? What if we stay? Pretend there's nothing else. I want you. 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 What's on your mind? Can I read it from your eyes? Can we lay and make the time stand still? What if we stay? Pretend there's nothing else.
Got a monster inside of me, you better watch out. If your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets cause real big, gets off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score. Never getting bored, lots of blood and gold. Always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really listen until they feel it for their heart in. If you start shit, you be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you left scars ripped. You be chewed up and discarded.
And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's
no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate.
Welcome back to the Rift for one final time of ChronoBreak versus Harmony. It is TDVTD, this time 5 points once again. I don't think Toxin's walking to the enemy jungle right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Don't worry,
You got
Razors
read like
wants
a
it.
book. You got wait. Actually, Razors is running like Toxin, but they warded out, and he's not going to go quite as deep. Oh, Frost looking for a mana flow bond stack. It is kind of free. You just walk around the corner here. Cute. Oh, he gets it. Not actually that impactful, but I do get excited about my mana flow bond stacks.
Hey, it's up for that first trade by the time the minions get there. You take those wins.
Absolutely. Well, I'm noticing something else here. I normally don't pay that much attention to where everyone is because it's not that big of a deal, but
The lane swap.
Man and Helium are up here. This isn't pro play. I wonder how this is gonna go. Okay, well,
We
this
should
also
get a
doesn't happen in
pause.
pro play.
There we go.
I don't think that matters that much because minions are just now meeting. At most, yes, Razors will get lane position, which is pretty important in this matchup, but hopefully it won't be that big of a deal. Because I believe this game is going to be far more impacted by what's going on in the top and bot lane.
Yeah,
And we have a
bit of
few minutes to talk about it, I guess.
Yeah, bit of shenanigans. I like the adaptation. Complex has been doing really well in this. Mordekaiser, good time to see how he handles a 2v1. And what is going to be the response here from Harmony? If it's an immediate, do your 3 back and try and change it. You know, send your Tarek and Jinx topside to try and match, or if they just let him stay in it.
You know what's kind of funny is that the delay is not gonna. Well, never mind. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just the pause is happening so late that technically you could know that the swap was happening in real time. Although I guess it's not really gonna matter. But the most important part of a lane swap is the first 3 or 6 minions of experience. And I don't have much experience really commentating through one, so this will be an adventure. But it really is a question of if Complex can get any amount of XP from the first few minions. And if there's a dive attempt. Bardo on Zac obviously is a great diver. Zyra, I think, could do it. But it's not just the champions, it's how much practice do you have in a 3v1 dive.
Yeah, but you're kind of starting on the wrong side. If you wanted to be there to
that Q is much more impactful, by the way. Alright, Complex finds out now. He is walking up and is going to get zoned out already. But it really is about those first 3 minions. Godfist doing what you're supposed to do in these swap locations. And you can see because of the way that Kitticus, I mean, you can see it for a long time because of the freeze. The way that Kitticus has layered these minions, I believe those 3 melee minions will walk up closer to Godfist right now. And I'm not sure if Atomic is going to zone out well enough. It looks like it will happen. I don't believe he got XP. XP range was obviously increased recently. It looks like he's only going to get 1 eventually. But Kitticus, despite not knowing that he was going into a lane swap, has done pretty well at stacking his minions now. We've got a pretty decent wave. I'm wondering what's happening on the other side of the map. As Godfist trying to sneak out 1 more minion. And Frost has gotten some really good trades here. It shouldn't matter that much for now, but it will matter for the push later, which is very impactful whenever it comes to junglers being in weird positions because of the swap. Meanwhile, Complex has gotten level 2, and the minion crash is not very good for Hoodie Man. It does look like both sides will not use the crash with their junglers. Junglers are not nearly in position, so Respectable. I don't think these teams have practiced lane swaps that much, and I wouldn't expect them to. It's a very niche strategy that requires a lot of effort. Whenever you're in this league, you can also... Oh, wait, Frost getting charmed here. This is a major amount of damage coming out. But he does get the trade back afterwards, so...
Yeah,
both
good
of them will
full
be on
combo
0
land.
potions left.
Really well played by Racers on that.
Right, but this is the problem with swapping. If you do not go for the dive, the top laners are level 3 and you're only level 2. I believe the dual lanes will get level 3 first, or level 3 soon. But Godfist and Complex will hit level 4 well before they are safe. And if they are able to get to level 6 while the dual lane is still level 4, that's when it becomes a real problem. Because at that point, you've got ultimates while the enemy AD carry and support have nothing.
Kitticus is gonna step up and eat the tongue lash.
Oh, the charm once again lands onto Frost. Frost is not having a good time in this lane right now. Luckily in Mage versus Mage, whenever you've got teleport, it's more about the CS than anything like this unless you get solo killed. And he's keeping up in farm okay, so it probably won't be that impactful yet. But you can see Complex and Godfist level 4. Here comes the dive attempt now, but the levels are just not there. I'm not sure this is going to work. Atomic tanks first. Tom Kinch does get canceled, but look at his Atomic's health bar. He heals, he flashes, he's still dead. And that's going to be a dive attempt leading to first blood. Meanwhile, dive attempt over here is much more impactful. They get the kill on Frost, but Godfist is still alive, and now Jinx is too low to keep up the pressure.
Yeah, dive attempt really kind of blows up there for Harmony. Toxin misses the root, doesn't take that first tower shot, ends up going over to Atomic, and they just end up going down because of how long Tom Kench is able to buy so much time.
This is why dive attempts are so scripted for the 2v1. You're not allowed to get the enemy top laner level 3, let alone level 4. It just doesn't work in a 3v1 in that kind of situation. And unfortunately, it's kind of like hearing what you're supposed to do without actually practicing it. And I don't blame them because, again, Harmony was not the team that initiated the swap. But at the same time, they probably shouldn't have tried to go through the motions without knowing exactly what they were doing.
So we do see the 3v2 now coming out top side.
Oh, no, that's the
Jungle
third
split
time in
here.
a row I've seen land on Frost. And yes, it does look like on top side, the other bot lane is getting busted by the jungler, healing, getting the flash, still running away, flashing from Complex, but he can't, oh, he does finish it from the burn from jungle. Complex will also make it out. And it looks like both dual lanes are getting into trouble. Hoodie Man under tower, but they have a lot of tools here with Taric. They could go for another dive attempt over here. The stun lands. Complex is the one tanking. Actually, it's Atomic taking again. They don't care if he dies because Hoodie Man should go down here. He doesn't!
Oh.
And the level up plus Triumph mean he is not going to die to Toxin either. He did die to Toxin. Frost is level 6 though. Dodges over the Zac and gets the kill on Razors. I believe Bardo took some XP, so Ari could not hit 6. And it looks like the dive on top side went a little bit better for Harmony, but it wasn't perfect still.
Yeah, you end up getting the kill. You trade 1-for-1 top side. Frost somehow is able to clean up there for the mid and get the outplay the 1v2. So it kind of all goes even, but I think the 3 kills went over to ChronoBreak first.
It is a feat of warfare for ChronoBreak. That is correct. I didn't even notice that. And they're getting all 3 grubs without Dragon being traded on the cross map, so they're well on their way to earning feats of strength.
Yeah, I think they just need the dragon or first tower, right?
They need 2 more objectives or first tower.
Gotcha.
Meanwhile, Ari gets rooted up while in her ultimate. Toxin, though, is just not able to bring any kind of escape or damage. Razors will get that kill, and it's a shutdown because Toxin is the one with all the kills on his team. Frost getting polymorph, so it makes it much harder to dodge any of the skill shots. However, the cooldowns aren't there, so Frost will walk away.
It's hard to dodge things as a squirrel.
Yeah, for sure. Top lane, kind of looking interesting. Usually after a swap, top lanes are really, really far behind. This time, not so much. They've both got kills or assists. They've got a little bit of less farm than usual. But that's not bothering Complex, who is still going in and fighting pretty hard.
Yeah, Complex, not shaken by the 2v1, still ready to fight. Was ready to fight in the 2v1 also. Constantly stepped up, made sure he got as much CS as he could.
Yeah, but they're on the wrong side of the map, you may notice. While Dragon is up, the dual lanes have not swapped back. Neither team has moved them yet. Helium, however, trying to move and getting caught for it. The ult from Orianna comes out. Now, Zac will be interrupted with follow-up damage, but now he's committed. Atomic having to run away with level 4, so he's going to take a lot of damage. Frost trying to commit for the kill, will get on Helium. Orianna will also go down. Jinx rocket used, but it's just not able to connect. And it's a 1-for-1. But losing your Lulu is a lot less effective than losing your Orianna. Although, Helium is level 4 and probably will be for a while.
Yeah, and
Atomic absorbing solo lane XP right there.
Frost did have enough CS.
Ooh, ultimate in from Complex. But Godfist just flashes out and the tower shots completely destroy him. I believe Godfist should have this. Actually just doesn't dodge anything, doesn't hit anything. And Complex looks like he made a blunder and then corrected it immediately. Godfist goes down in solo kill.
Godfist looks like he canceled the auto that would have finished Complex off.
Razors is not missing these charms, by the way.
Yeah, another huge charm.
Varus ult
for
available is used. Cleanse used as well. Kiticus will be okay.
Yeah, good quick cleanse by Cliticus. Doesn't waste a moment. I don't even think it really hit. The cleanse was good enough.
Now Tark is available. Both supports back with their 80 carries.
Tark still
Dragon
4.
was taken. Dragon was taken during that for Harmony, so they are fighting back on the feats.
Yeah, it's still a bit of a game here for the feats. 10 minutes.
Right, but I just feel like even though Frost has consistently been hit by these charms, he's still getting the better of the gold exchanges. I mean, the kills are even. There's one more. Right, there's a huge CS lead, and he just got the first plate of the lane. Or he's going to, sorry. Okay, and he just got the first plate of the lane, and Razors is really low. He doesn't have mana for ult, I believe. Does have mana for Trine, which again lands. He does not miss those. And Godfist will pick up the rest with that slow. Ulting the Orianna. Orianna might look for a miracle ult on Razors. Does get it, and the kill! And it just feels like Razors is a little greedy to walk up there.
Yeah, Frost with the huge outplay, the Ori passive stacking just for the auto attack to finish off. Comes in clutch. Well played by Frost.
Oh, flash in. There's no cleanse this time for Hoodieman because he doesn't have his barrier. Polymorph does stop Toxin, but not for long. Barrier not going to save you at all. Jinx gets the kill. Kiticus is off to a great start this game as well. And I wonder how the top laners like their new scenery down there.
Yeah, this is a bit of a bloodbath. We haven't seen this bloody of a game between these two teams. Here's this game 3. With 13 kills in, we're only not even 11 minutes in yet.
Right, and with Grubs respawning, Jinx just got the kill on Hoodie, so you have to imagine they've got a great position here. I'm not sure if Bardo wants to say that, though. He is still here to contest. Has to jump out eventually. And that's why whenever you're down a member, contesting is kind of hard. Oh, they might mess up the patience. Nope, they're good.
Yep, Smite comes down. So yeah, this should be that objective going over then.
Right, and that will be their second objective. So they need one more objective and the first tower to get feats. But that's definitely possible. Meanwhile, this 1v1, we've seen it before. Complex doing it a little bit better this time, not missing any abilities. Godfist not canceling anything yet either. Oh, Complex is just hitting everything though. And at the end, still top lane. Still going to be a trade that they're slightly lower in health and then go back to their minions.
Yeah, ult not up yet for Godfist during that little exchange.
Atomic in a bush right now has no flash or hex flash. So, oh, but jumping on Frost right now is Zac. Complex, don't do the tower dive again. Is he really going to do it to him? He gets the second tower shot from the damage over time from his items. The Faded Ashes betrays him. And now that he misses the E, Godfist feels compelled to go in. Looks like he's not feeling that confident though, so the recall will come out, and it doesn't end up that bad for Complex.
It does have the ult if Complex chooses to pressure this, but the back goes off. It does look like Complex wanted to fight it.
Now the dual lanes have swapped with Dragon, or sorry, only the dual lane of ChronoBreak is swapped right now. I'm wondering if Harmony will call this. It looks like they do. You do want your dual lane near the dragon, especially whenever it's the objective feat that we're contesting right now. So it looks like both teams will react appropriately. And the top laners go back to their favorite little place, off in the corner of the map.
But Harmony does have TP advantage here with Complex. Godfist's TP is still down and will be down for this dragon.
Yeah, and that would be feats of strength going over to TD Harmony should they secure it. Also, this lane does not look that easy for Godfist. Oh, actually jumping in is Bardo. Tarnico will save him some time. And now Bardo's kind of committed, getting knocked up. Has the passive though. Kitikis trying to take his health down, going on William. Atomic will go down. Ari has so many charges. Orianna can't find an ult on all of them. Maybe now the ball will find it though. There's 3 of them right in the shockwave, but there's no follow-up. So it only protects his life and not if he gets charmed. Razors still looking for Orianna. Polymorph means that Frost cannot kill the Lulu. Razors does not have ult charges left. Barrier will be used by Hoodie Man, who's very low. Jinx finds him. That should be a kill and a reset if he can land the W. The Lulu shield rocket is going to be more than W. Kills 2 of them. It goes for the W on Razors. Doesn't need to hit it though, because Toxin will pick up that one. And that should be so many kills over to Harmony, along with the feats of strength once they pick up this Hextech Dragon. Meanwhile, top lane, Complex is fighting 1v1 versus Godfist. With the heart still completed though, Godfist has more of a chance, but he has to start dodging some of these abilities. Can't dodge that one, has to dodge that one with a flash.
Yeah, great fight.
Oh, but the flash in for Complex is the second time he's gone under tower, and he's going to get the kill, but die for it.
Complex, just pure aggression. May have missed the first Q. Yep. Can't miss the second one, surely. We're flashing under tower. I'm dying, but you're coming with me. Mentality playing strong.
Yeah, and this time, this game, after game 2, Kitikis once again has so much gold on him. This time from kills, not necessarily from a farm advantage, although there is one of those too. And the rest of his team is not falling apart. His team is doing great. I feel like this Jinx is going to pop off.
Yeah, Toxin having a much better game here in Korea, being 3-1 rather than, 0-3 that he was on the Viego. So you got a lot more strength coming out. Frost still kind of finding his footing, but it is going even, at least with the Ahri, outside of the CS advantage here for Frost.
It has to be noted that there's a CS advantage in literally every role except for support for TD Harmony. That gold lead is very real, and this time they have the gold lead and the dragons. ChronoBreak has got to find the brakes on this train. Meanwhile, Tom Kench going in with the Zac, but Toxin is here as well. It's going to be a 2v2. Mordekaiser does not have ult, so it's going to stay that way. Bardo gets ulted on to Complex. The Zyra ult will protect him for a little bit. Bardo still has passive, and it looks like even... Oh, wait, the root means that the passive is going to be procced, and I think Complex can just sit here and hit these. So I think Bardo just goes down.
Yeah, Godfish.
Oh, Tom Kench going in while the tower's still available, but they can just right-click the tower. They're not taking any damage from it. Toxin still hits them, so he will take some damage from it. Heart still proc. And stun means that's a shutdown for Tom Kench, but it's a kill for Complex as well.
Yeah, ends up being a double kill for Complex, picking up Bardo and Godfist. So 2 for 1 over plus the tower for TD Harmony.
And you can see immediately objective bounties are now available almost as soon as they were allowed to be available.
Yeah,
and
that 5K.
ChronoBreak really has to look for some kind of play around their Ahri, because I feel like that's the only strength they have, maybe the Tom Kench as well. But right now, Complex is just hitting the inner tower, which would be a huge payday for him if he can complete it.
Yeah, ChronoBreak really has to find a way to slow this train down. The wheels are starting to wobble, and if they're not careful, they're gonna fall off.
Complex is not scared of towers, but he hits Tom Kench first, which means the tower is hitting him. The ult comes out from Tom Kench. Once Complex is out, he doesn't have very many options. I think he's going to die for this tower. Does get the tower, trying to E Godfist away. Qs for some shield damage. Toxin coming with the root, but the tongue reaches out. The tongue cannot be rooted. And that will be a kill on Complex. Bardo doesn't have passive though, so he's got to be careful. There's Rip taking on him. And Kitikis just gets a kill. He might even go for more. Rocket shouldn't kill here, I believe, but that Varus is not interacting for a while.
Yeah, Bardo goes in. Kitikis gets the passive start from killing the tower. Ooh.
Oh, the root on Godfist, the ultimate from Orianna, the ultimate from Zyra. He does not get to move. Lulu has to ult himself. Varus has to run for his life. Helium will also go down, I believe. Oh, it's just a Tarek chasing him. He might be fine. Yeah, I'm Atomic doesn't want to go for that. But the tower does not have that luxury. It has to stay right there until it falls, which it will.
So yeah, it looks like 3 games in a row we're seeing this huge objective advantage here for Harmony.
Thompson is tanking
Very
right now.
focused.
Bard gets to go in, but he doesn't have passive and he doesn't have ultimate. Varus ult, however, will find Atomic for now. They just don't have any way to damage him after the root.
Yeah, so kind of an awkward fight. Weird push there to try and get some what they wanted to take mid tower, but it ends up just being chip damage. Ward has to blow teleport to cover down the tower for bot lane from Razors. Rift's still up, but no one really in a position to take it.
I think that Harmony is more than happy to take their 3rd dragon in 30 seconds. If ChronoBreak wants the objective bounty, they can go for Rift, but then they've got to contend with Soul spawning soon, along with Otacon.
Yeah, so and this will be an Ocean Soul. So really strong here on both teams. You'd love to see it for a Zac and a Tom Kench. That would be pretty massive.
And we do potentially see a repeat of last game where Soul will be spawning right a little bit after Otacon does, and Otacon will be in the top lane. So once again, we'll have that moment where there will be cross-map objectives that are super important. With Teleport coming in, ChronoBreak does not want to give this up. Orianna still has Teleport. But right now, Harmony can just stall. If they don't start the dragon, I'm not sure that ChronoBreak can. But it looks like they don't want to start the dragon. They want to start fighting him. Kitticus gets knocked up by Zac. Tarek is just too slow. That will be a kill on your most important carry. This fight is so hard right now. Orianna teleporting in, but it's in the middle of 3 people. Hoodie Man will go down. Orianna gets to go to the side. Has a good ultimate lined up. I think it used it actually. Complex still at full health. Atomic might flash away, but Godfist isn't getting them. And that's a triple kill for Complex. Frost is also going to pick up the support over there. It's a Mordekaiser full of Orianna's full house.
Yeah, you get the priority target there on the Jinx, but Complex just cleans it up all on the backside. And Mordekaiser is fully online. You end up losing everything trying to go in. I mean, you full committed on the Jinx and you got it. But I don't think this is how you thought that was going to go after you killed the Jinx.
It was just unfortunate that Hoodie was so far forward after killing the Jinx. I think it was, something you had to do to be able to make sure you killed Kitticus. But once that went down, there was nothing protecting Hoodie Man from death.
There was just so much damage on the Tarek there on Imatonic, and it was just Toxin, Frost, and Complex free hitting most of that team fight.
So it looks like if Harmony can keep this Otacon on the map for another 5 minutes, they've got that, checkmate position. 4 minutes actually. Checkmate position of Soul spawned and Otacon spawned. That used to be a thing with Baron, but feels even more real with... Oh, actually, Complex is just going for the fight. He doesn't care for any objectives to spawn. Ults onto Bardo, who does have passive. But, that's not really going to save him once he's out of the Death Chamber. He goes into passive in front of 4 members of Harmony. They will pick that up, and once the jungler's down, Otacon can be taken without any pressure on the other side whatsoever.
Now, that was expensive for them. They did pop Ori ult and Mord ult just to secure jungle. So this would be a good time to contest. If ChronoBreak really wanted to, this is kind of their opportunity, but they're not in position.
Yeah, and that means they have the GA buff with Rift Herald still available, so probably pick up that one too. Not as nice as a Baron after Otacon. And you kind of have to wonder what they're going to use this buff for. Obviously, it does give 40 gold on every takedown for the rest of the game, so it's not nothing. But there's not really anything for them to hard force their GAs into. Like, all the towers are already down except for some inhibitor and 1 outer. Or 1 inner, rather. And I just don't see ChronoBreak fighting them unless they go really ham. They used the Rift Herald mid, though. They want that inhibitor.
Yeah, they're going to break mid inhib. I would have probably broken bot.
Oh, actually, Helium's kind of stuck here. Goes down. I don't think Bardo wants to complete that jump. Will just walk away, and that inhib is definitely going down. They're actually continuing to go. They have GAs. They could get Nexus Towers. Nexus Towers do respawn, so it's not as powerful as it once was. But that has been the call. They're still here. Bardo is here to collect some GAs. Tarkle does not... Oh, it does get bounced into the Jinx, so Jinx is invulnerable right now. Toxin also laying down some CC. Orianna ult and Desire ult. God Fist will go down. Razors has to ult away into Complex, who will find him with an ultimate. But it's once again Complex under a tower. I think he's dead. Well, withdrawing at least. So I think they don't get anything more than the inhibitor. But they are continuing to push here.
It just wouldn't be a fight without Complex diving under a tower.
Now they are looking at the Nexus Towers. Jinx should be able to take one of these pretty easily, and Jinx does do a lot of damage after getting excited. Getting excited is proc. Bardo is trying to stun up who he can. He has no passive though, and Frost is still laying down damage. Atomic taking damage from Ari. You don't care if your Tark withdraws though. Thompson is taking the tower right now. Jinx should get excited. She could right-click the Nexus, and she has done so. Godfist trying to stop it. But the get excited makes her impossible to hit. There's a charm into cleanse. Running away from Ari right now with no ultimate. Complex is back from his withdrawing. Finds Hoodie Man. Tom Kinch has to save him. Frost has no mana but still has auto attacks. Bardo in a lot of trouble as well. Double kill. Kittikis is going off. Godfist is taking so much damage from him. I believe that's a triple kill. Helium is going to be the next target. No, the Nexus is. Because Kittikis doesn't need his Penta. He just needs his 2-1. And his 2-1, he will get.
What a good use of the Otacon buff. Finally getting to see. Not sure they needed to pull off the Nexus at the end to take the team fight, but it looked flashier to do it that way.
And if it works.
Yeah.
If it works.
Hard force and pull the end of the game using the Otacon buff with the withdrawals, more TP back in there at the end. And
that really does feel like it feels like something you can only do with Jinx, because the fact that every tower that went down got her excited. Usually whenever you commit to taking a tower like that, you're doing so much damage to something that isn't an enemy team member. You're committed to a very specific spot. It gets a little bit harder to actually end the game, but with Jinx, she gets a buff from it. She doesn't care.
Yeah, and surprisingly, the damage charts, it's all complex. Yeah. Fighting under towers, I would love to see how much tower damage Complex took just in that match.
More than anyone else, that's for sure.
27,000 damage there on the Mordekaiser, more than anyone in the game. Even Jinx only had almost 21k, same as Orianna there out of Frost. So yeah, 3 games in a row, 3 complexes.
Yeah, and TD Harmony have taken the series, which was not what we were expecting. That means TD Harmony is one of potentially 2 undefeated teams. I wonder if we could potentially get an update on the match off stream. I don't know if it would have completed, but Contingent Purple is the other undefeated team that wasn't in the series.
See if we have anything.
Regardless, right now Harmony is one of 1 or 2 undefeated teams, and again, people are expecting to be ChronoBreak and Contingent Purple on that pedestal. So Harmony breaking some, expectations.
Oh yeah, and so we don't quite have that match in to know what happened between Contingent Purple and.
Someone says Contingent 2-0, but their sources themselves, so who knows for real.
Their
but
sources themselves.
That would mean that there are currently 2 undefeated teams, Harmony, which you just saw, and Contingent Purple. Now, we thought that ChronoBreak were the favorites, and we're really excited for that matchup, but I can tell you that if you want to see Contingent versus Harmony, who just won, that will be the final week of regular season before tiebreak. So next 2 weeks are going to be a banger. Contingent Esports. Oh, no, sorry. That will not be the stream game, however. But that's whenever you get to know what happens in that game. Next week, we're going to see Contingent Esports, which again are undefeated, versus ChronoBreak, who you just saw almost bring it to a close of being undefeated. And then the week after that, we will check in with some other teams, Jolly Rogers, Black Pearl, and OSG Tactical Fuse. And then we'll be getting into tiebreakers and playoffs.
I think we do have some flexibility in the schedule, so if it does come down to the 2 undefeated teams, if Harmony and Contingent can keep that going, I do think we have some wiggle room that will become the stream game. as we look ahead into playoffs.
Yeah, because I believe each team is promised at least one streamed match, but I don't think OSG has been streamed. So you'd have to change next week's, unfortunately. Actually, you can't because next week they have a bye, so I think that we're locked in for week 5.
Have to figure that out.
Either way, Arbiter's heating up. Next week we're going to see one of the other undefeated teams go up onto our streaming screens. But for this week, thank you guys for watching Arbiter. Catch us with the other leagues for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but Monday is through and in the books.
The night is young, we go, it's strong till dawn. Up all night till the morning comes, we love it so. We go, it's strong for more, let's get it on.